Good evening and welcome, fellow strugglers. Tonight on Fictionology, we are talking about undebatably the greatest manga ever created. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. This is objective. It is the best. Okay, and we got plenty of people. But before we do anything, Berserkomania gonna run wild on ya, brother. Something like that or whatever. So grab yourself a drink, take up your sword, and get ready for this show. So we've got people introduced. We've got people that flubbing lines already. I'm 2 minutes in and I'm flubbing this. Okay. We got people to introduce. There, I said it right. And we're going to start with the newest of the converts, our brand new apostle of Berserk. He's the freshest member of our band of strugglers and the first member of the Church of Farnese, and the only man alive who I know still knows how to hunt a T-Rex. And he can't jerk off because he has a nut allergy. How you doing, Muffler Tape?
Farnese is one of the best. It's the greatest ever. Berserk is amazing. How we all doing, everybody? This is going to be kick-ass. Let's go.
Of course, next up, we have another regular for Fictionology, and we were taking bets on whether or not he actually finished his homework before this series. And the only struggle that I know that this guy has is staying awake while we're on air. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him for sucking off bleach at every chance he gets. How are you doing, Rolo?
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm doing fantastic. Bleach is the best. But anyway, no.
Wrong.
I will be honest. I did not finish the manga, but I finished everything else.
Okay, how far in the manga did you make it?
I'm past the eclipse. Is that at the end?
Oh, okay. You got way past. You're good. You didn't have to read the whole manga.
Okay, yeah. No,
I'm up to. That's all I want.
My notes are very minimal, and I've been doing it like they're like some of them are like a couple months old, so. The first note I have is just Beal it. I did finish the anime and it was awesome, and I'm very glad that I did, and I do plan on reading the manga as well. But didn't have time to finish it. I figured that would be okay.
All right. Well, we still got a few more people to get in here. So, we have our final permanent member, regular member of the Fictionology crew, the anime noob of our group, the Hazed. He is the Casca to your Griffith, although it's
oh my god!
He might just sacrifice all of us to the God Hand in exchange for a goth mommy. We don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep. It's the definitely not gay, but would totally sleep with Griffith, Roman.
You want to know something, y'all? Listen, okay? I have a new exception, and it's Griffith.
Oh my god!
What? Clip that.
You heard it here first.
He says he just adds to the list.
You heard it here first. I am adding to the list. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I was the very first guest on Fictionology, and something tells me that I'm going to be the last one, too.
What?
Do with that what you will.
What? Is that a threat?
What? Listen here, okay. Griffith. We don't have to take any of your shit, all right?
Yeah, he just got his Beal it. He's ready to go. He's going to bleed on it any second.
Okay, well, we have guests. So, I mean, there's Rolando, but nobody really cares about the Mexicans, so we're just going to move on really quickly.
Yeah. You said yeah.
Agrees, bro. It's crazy.
He's Mexican. He's the bestest Mexican, okay?
Yeah.
And of course, because it wouldn't be a Berserk stream without, at least one person to bring the totally autistic energy here. So we have the man who is rumored to wander from country to country and for untold eons in search of abusive women to be in a relationship with. They say he sold his mother to the God Hand in exchange for tapping Makima once. And he is the infamous Misato Goon Commander. How you doing, Lethal?
Absolutely, all of that is true, but it's still better than being a Griffith fan.
Yes.
Yes. And just for the record, I care about Mexicans because Mexicans seem to really fucking like me.
That is true. He does like the typical Mexican coffee.
Yeah, me and Mexicans get along.
Alrighty. I don't know what happened to the other guy, so I'll wait on that one. I tried to clarify that him this time. I don't know. I don't see him anywhere, so we'll move on from that. Anyway, so typically how this works is we will like open up sort of talking about some of the things, just talking about our initial experience with any given series that we're covering. So I'll go first. We'll kind of go around. I want to get the opinions of some of the more experienced people who were familiar with Berserk before going into this, and then we'll get to the noobs who most definitely had varying reactions to this series. So
you say that.
for me personally, I first found Berserk when I was just starting to watch anime and all that. And I checked out the 97 version. It seemed a little dated. I was like, oh, there's a 2016 version. Booted up the 2016 version.
Oh
no.
That was a mistake. So because of that, I was all like, yeah, perhaps I'm just not going to get around to this. But come around to like 2020, 2021, my family was going on vacation and I was looking for reading material to kill the time while we were driving out to Utah. And that's like half the country away for people who are not in the know of like how long that is. It's a very long ass fucking drive.
Yes,
It's huge.
It's huge.
it's the biggest drive.
So I was like, you know what? There's this series that I keep seeing. Like, I really think this character is cool and all that. Let's just give Berserk another try. Started reading the manga. Instantly loved it. Fantastic. And I have been on the hype train for this series ever since. Now, because I did end up reading the manga, I did ultimately end up going back and watching the 97 version of the anime. And while I do have my issues with it, overall, it's a solid anime. It kind of falls into a category for me, like with the Lord of the Rings, where they're good movies, just bad adaptations.
Oof. Oh my god.
In a specific sense.
Control
Okay, we
yourself.
can get into that. We can get into that, Roland, because I know you're fucking triggered now. But I'm talking specifically how they cut a lot of stuff.
Okay, that's okay. That I understand.
Yes. So from there, I know Lethal, you were very familiar with this series for a long time. You got anything to say?
yeah, I got into Berserk about I reckon 6-ish years ago when I first moved into this place. I watched the anime first and thought it was great, but definitely you can tell it's old, especially some of the voice acting. I watched the dub. So for those of you that didn't know, Guts is actually the same voice as Zoro from One Piece.
Oh, no way.
And
No way.
Yep.
I never watched One
That's
Piece
cool.
in dub.
Yep.
So I did watch this.
And sorry.
I never watched One Piece in dub, but I did watch this in dub. So
Yeah, so that's Zoro. Also, the voice actor of Zod in this is comically evil. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, he is.
That has not aged well. But when I read the manga, it blew my fucking mind, and I just realized how much media since this has come out, this has inspired, right? Even though there's clear inspirations that have been gone into Berserk, if you go down the rabbit hole, you'll see things like even like Mad Max, like inspired something like Berserk. And once you start
Yeah, I
seeing
can
all
see
the
that.
similarities, it's wild. I actually reread all of Berserk about 7-ish months ago, give or take. And I know a lot of people don't like the newer stuff because of the change of mangaka since the death and all that stuff, but I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. In fact, I would argue it's actually good, and I think a lot of people's criticisms of the modern stage of the Berserk manga comes from a place of, look, this manga is older than all of us, right? This shit is fucking old. It's just taken so goddamn long. It's the greatest manga ever written, but it might be one of the most inconsistent ones. All right.
Yeah, if only Kentaro Miura didn't spend 7 years of his life playing Idolmaster instead of writing manga, you know.
Yeah. So
Dude gets
How
a
long
pass.
does
a lot of the criticisms with the newer stuff, I think, come from a place of being impatient. And don't get me wrong, I'm just as impatient. I think if we applied a lot of those criticisms to the older stuff as it was coming out, we would have the same criticisms. We have the benefit of being able to binge read it. So that's where I think that stuff all comes from. I'm glad we have a Farnese fan here, because I will argue till the sun goes down that Farnese actually has the best and most character development out of everyone, including Guts.
Holy shit. That's
there
what
are
I'm talking
two
about.
Farnese fans now.
Yeah.
This is getting out of hand. There are two
You
of
see
them.
where she starts and where she is now?
Yes.
It's almost two different characters, but it's a natural progression, right?
Yes.
The Eclipse is just infamous for every fucking reason, and it deserves it. There is nothing quite like it, especially
Eclipse has
in the
broken
anime.
internet
like
3 times.
I'm sorry,
I think.
I can't hear. There's something. I'm hearing myself here. Is that my end?
That's Rolando.
Rolando.
No.
Fuck.
Okay. The Eclipse there's a reason when people have never read Berserk or watched it, I always actually say start with the anime, because you will not guess how it ends, right?
Yeah.
Now, I actually agree with you, Crimson. The anime is good, but it cuts out a lot of the Band of the Hawk story, the Golden Years. In the manga, it's practically told to you that the Berserk is going to happen. It does Berserk, that the Eclipse is going to happen. Whereas in the anime, it seemingly comes out of nowhere, and it's this big what the fuck moment. There's actually a chapter that was infamously re-released. There was a chapter that came out that after it came out, everyone was like, fuck, maybe we shouldn't have released that because it gives away too much. So it's kind of like a unofficial decanonized chapter. But even stuff like magic is brought into the manga in the first chapter, which doesn't really become a thing until later on in the anime. The character of Puck, for example, I don't even think he's in the original anime, is he?
I don't remember.
No,
he's in the
not.
story way earlier in the original as well. So there's quite a few, not changes, but just things that are left out. But when people glaze this, it's because it is that fucking good, right? The manga is on a whole other level, and I can guarantee you that if everyone goes through their favorite mangas, there is some form of Berserk inspiration.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
This is the shit, and if you don't like it, fuck you.
Well, I will say that I don't necessarily. I think Berserk is the greatest manga ever written. It is just in a league of its own in that regard. But I don't think it's necessarily for everyone. Like I said, the Eclipse in and of itself broke the internet multiple times.
I'm glad you said that.
Like Twitter
it might not
rediscovered.
be for you. It might not be for everyone, but in the same way that I think everyone should experience Lord of the Rings, you might not give a fuck about fantasy. You might think wizards and orcs is gay, but from a storytelling perspective, it's something that has to be experienced. And I think it's the same with Berserk.
That's how I feel
It might be a bit full on in some places, fine, but just purely from a writing perspective and specifically a character progression perspective, it's in a league of its own. There is nothing quite like it. Even Griffith is a hated character, not because Griffith is a poorly written character. Griffith is an incredibly well-written character that made you hate him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of the things you just said there, like it might not be your cup of tea, but you got to experience it. That's how I feel about people that just refuse to even check out manga or anime in general. Just because of the art style. I'm like, yeah, but like at least read the story or watch it, like get something out of it. And like I was gonna say Lord of the Rings, but I would also say the original Star Wars is the same exact way. Like you should watch. Everybody should see A New Hope just to understand it, in my opinion.
And then God willingly they leave it at the first one.
Yeah.
Real quick, Marcel, stick around because we're going to talk a little bit about some of that controversy that you have with the series because it's complicated.
Well, I will say you're going to get I don't know if I told you this, Muffler Tape, but for similar reasons that Marcel makes this comment, one of my first exchanges with the questioners was when I did a recording with him and we got onto the topic of Berserk. Rolando was actually there and we started arguing as to whether the Eclipse and the God Hand makes sense. And what I found with this latest iteration is that it all comes from people who have watched the anime but not read the manga.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
That makes sense.
Because the manga does a lot better job of framing certain situations, like the thing I know we talked to Marcel about, the things that I discussed with the questioners during that recording session, all that kind of stuff.
The anime Eclipse is a lot more shocking because it is a bit out of the blue, whereas like manga Eclipse, it's a build up, and I mean, again, in that chapter that they regretted releasing, Griffith literally fucking sees the God Hand talking to him. So it's way more like predicted that it's going to happen, and it's just built up better. Whereas this was only like 26 episodes, so they had to get through a lot, and they still cut out quite a bit.
Yeah, they cut out a lot.
I actually made some notes of like the very important cuts that they made. But to you, Rolando, because you were a person who had read this before or watched this at least before.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get onto Peak Fiction?
First, I think it started with 2016.
So all you can do is go up. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you started with the Eclipse. Good to know.
I saw it on Crunchyroll and I was like, Berserk, this looks cool. Some dude with like an armor, cool looking characters. I checked it out. The intro was awesome, and I'm like, why the fuck is it so different? But it didn't register me that it was bad. It just looked different. And then, because I was like, I think 15 whenever I watched it. 15, 16. And I liked the story from how it was telling it, even though now I'm pretty sure it was telling it not how it was in the manga. And I'm like, I wonder if there's more. So then I get to 97. I think it's fucking awesome. But then, second rewatch, it's not as good as I remember. Then I read it and I'm like, this is fucking amazing. Like this is like my favorite fucking story now.
Yeah, it basically just becomes a part of your personality. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. And yeah, I get pissed whenever people shit on it.
Okay, so we'll start with as far as going over some of the newer opinions on this. We'll start here with Muffler Tape. So I remember back when we first met, we talked about Berserk a little bit, and you were talking like, yeah, I've read a little bit of it, but I don't get into it very much. Like I read it a little bit every now and again. What's your opinion on Berserk now?
Yeah, it's fighting for number one all time for me on manga. Like as I've I not only blitzed through our reading assignment, which it took me a little bit to work up a head of steam to get through it. But once I got through the Eclipse, I just couldn't put it down, and I just read through the entire thing over the last 2 months. So yeah, I love it. I just want it to conclude at some point in my lifetime, so that way I can like understand the final, plot points. I've got some opinions on predictions and stuff, but once we get there, I'll be very happy, and it may end up being my number one then at that point. Currently, it's Vinland Saga, but it's just because that's done. Yeah. All right. So in my defense, okay, and it's kind of positive with some of the things that it says. So anyway, but yeah, no, man, I love Berserk. What I will say, my experience is I've had friends my entire life, my adult life basically. So for like 20 years, they go, yeah, Berserk, man, it's amazing. You got to check it out. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I get around to the deluxe editions and I buy the first one and I start reading it a little bit because I'm like, well, I heard that the anime adaptations are horrible, so I'm going to go ahead and read it and just do it that way. And I got through the Black Swordsman arc and I was like, oh, this is really rough and this has a lot of body horror in it and stuff. And I'm like, it's really good art, but maybe this isn't for me. And I was like reluctant there. And then I pushed through and we had this Fictionology coming up. So I kept plotting at it. I ended up getting the second deluxe edition. I want to end up making a whole shelf. I want to collect them all at this point. It's really, really good. And then in the last 2 weeks or so, like last 2 weeks to 3 weeks, we checked out the 97 edition, me and Rolando. And I was just bitching the entire time. I was so pissed off at how bad that adaptation is compared to, I will say the music is amazing. Okay. And we can talk about it later.
That's facts.
But I absolutely did not like the adaptation because it mischaracterizes people, cuts out entire important storylines that influence future arcs and stuff too. So it's just never had a good adaptation, in my opinion. But yeah, we can talk about it more.
We'll save Roman for last because I think he's going to have some interesting things to say here. Roland, how do you feel about it now that you've experienced peak fiction?
So my excuse me, geez, my original experience with Berserk was actually the 2016. So I only went up from there. I saw it on like Adult Swim or some shit. And I was like, oh, my friends are always talking about Berserk. I'll watch this. And I listen, one of the biggest gripes I have with Chainsaw Man season 1 was the fact that they used the CGI, but then I was like, well, wait, they're demons, so maybe it'll make sense. Or they're devils, so maybe that works, okay? Because everything else looks normal. I hate CGI animation, can't stand it. So when I was watching that, I was like, I don't know what the hype is about. So I actually did watch a couple of YouTube videos on Berserk around that time because all my friends were talking about it. They were all getting into anime. This is before I was really into anime. I probably only watched SAO at the time. So it wasn't until now that I had talked to you guys about Berserk many times. I've talked to a lot of other friends about it. They would show me stuff, and eventually I figured I'll get around to it. The same way I feel about One Piece. Eventually I'll get around to it. But dude, I never doubted you, right? I never doubted that this was amazing. I know it is. Like everybody says it's great. I don't know a single person that says it isn't. And I love dark fantasy. Love it. I love dark stories. I love dark fantasy. I like that type of shit. So I didn't have a single problem with this. I loved it. I thought it was great. I like the characters. I like the character development. I like the plot twists. I like the changing around of things. Now I did read the manga like a little while, throughout a couple months, so it might be foggy. Might be foggy on the manga itself. But I did watch the anime quite recently, so I should be good on that one. But I kind of binged the shit. So it might be running into itself a little bit. But no, I'm very glad that I got into it. I plan on reading the rest of the manga and probably rereading certain parts that I'm a little hazy on.
I have a lot to discuss with you guys. Hopefully we can get there, man.
And now, finally, we have the Griffith fanboy here.
God damn it.
You're fake as hell, Crimson. You're fake as hell.
What?
This is your favorite manga of all. Dude, listen. Okay, first of all I want to say is yes, this is good. Okay, but so as you all know, I am probably the most newbie out of everybody here when it comes to anime. And so, like, I've heard of, Berserk before. Like, I've seen it in passing. Roland has talked to me about it. I've seen everybody here talk about how great Berserk is. But I just never, like, it was on my list, but it was, like, far down my list because I literally have a list of anime that, like, I want to watch. And, like, it was, like, on there, but, like, it was, like, far down. So when I saw that this was up for Fictionology, I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. So I'll get to watch this early." And then when Crimson was like, "Oh, well, we have to read the manga," I was like, "Oh, all right." So here's the thing, right? I come at this probably from a much different angle than y'all do because I know that a few of us here do read comics, but like comics is my favorite medium. So I can come at this from it being my favorite medium. As someone who likes comic books and then watches comic book movies and shows, I can understand the cuts that need to be made in order to make a story work. Like the Batman Nightfall movie, not Nightfall. The Long Halloween has some cuts in that movie to make it like 90 minutes, right? But they still get the crucial parts of the story there, right? So when you delete Guts's backstory, not okay, they didn't, delete it. It was like a montage in the anime.
They carved it up to make it safe and
Yeah.
palatable.
Yeah, they did.
Right. But like I'm saying though, you guys
like
can feel
digging.
free to disagree. I think that should have been more than just like a little snippet. Because
Yeah.
Guts, like
that's the point. That's what
was-
everyone said.
Right. But like I'm saying though, here's the thing. Crimson, I'm with you. I like the manga.
You just said he's fake.
And
He's
Because-
hyperbolic like this. He has to get his jabs
Because-
in every now and again.
because he tortured me, Lethal, okay? I was not, expecting it to be like that, okay?
Are you sure you're not
I wasn't thinking-
Casca right now? Like,
He wasn't
Okay.
expecting to catch another addition
And
to
why
his
would you pick-
roster.
Why would you pick Long Halloween as an example when you could say Under the Red Hood, which cut out a lot and is probably better than the actual book?
Because that was the one that was on the top of my head. Anyway, point is that yes, Crimson, the manga is fantastic. Okay, I'm not saying that it's not, but it was a little too much for me at times. Okay, it was
Like-
very hard. It was very
Mhm.
hard for me to read. Okay, but
Yes.
what I'll also tell you is though too, is that because of how good the manga is, it kind of diminishes the anime, at least in my eyes.
Yeah, it happens
That's
most
just
of
my
the
view.
time.
yeah.
That happens most of the time.
Did you read through Demon Child? I just need to know because I don't remember if I talked to you about that or not. Did you get through that chapter at least?
I didn't, brother. I'm sorry.
Ah, okay, you're good. You're good. You're good. We'll
That's
talk
a
more
big
about it.
part. That's a big part.
Yeah. So Roman, you're kind of the reason why I say that Berserk isn't necessarily for everyone because it can be very hard to watch. And now I do have some like my anime list ratings here really quick to show you guys kind of how the breakdown goes for this one. This is the manga for Berserk.
Honestly, deserved. I'm curious about who gave it a 1, though. I'm curious. And like what their,
3,100.
Some Attack on
Marcel.
Titan fanboy.
Gaze.
Yeah, an Attack on Titan fanboy or like a hardcore Baptist.
Let's just put it here that like
They wouldn't even read
over
it.
like
Yeah,
almost
but I mean-
90%, or sorry, just about 90% of people think it's a 9 or above. Like
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
an
it-
insane amount
well-
of rate. Either way, my point in bringing that up is you can acknowledge that something is good. Oh, hold on, we'll get to something in a second, but you can acknowledge that something is good and know that it's not necessarily going to be for you. Berserk is a really good example of really well written fiction, but it is disturbing to say the least with some of the content that it covers. And
I'm not
that's
saying I
kind
don't
of why
like it.
it's become well, I'm
I'm not saying I
not
don't like it.
critiquing you. I'm just kind of explaining a little
Yes.
bit of a position on it.
Yeah.
I can respect people who say like it's too hard for me to read this, like it makes me really uncomfortable, or I have a personal issue with whatever it's with the specific thing. We'll get to you in a bit, Lethal.
Sorry, can I just ask one question just to get some clarification on this?
Yeah, I also have a question to clarify as well after Lethal.
So, okay, I understand that it can be a bit full on and it's not for everyone. No problem with that. Then why is Griffith your favorite character when he's the most fucked out of all of them?
Okay, actually,
Valid.
so
He came in here as Guts, but I was berating him for being the same character as me, so he switched over. to
yeah,
Griffith.
so
Why me,
yeah,
man?
so I just picked Griffith. I actually was gonna go with Guts.
That's right,
Griffith is,
babe.
not. Yeah, he's my favorite character.
Okay. Before we get into
Essentially.
anything here,
Can I
we
ask a
do
question?
have no, you
Fuck.
can't because I have someone sitting here waiting in the background for us.
Oh, okay.
So we have, finally our own genuine black swordsman, the guy who's got a bit of a reputation that somewhat precedes him since he seems to really like hentai. And he joined us on the last one because we were talking about ecchi anime, and he is back. I guess we did something wrong because we didn't scare him off. How you doing, Vagabundo?
Oh, good. And I have to say, oh shit, it's my nigga Lethal.
Yeah!
Vagabundo, what's up, dude?
All right, he said the
Good.
N-word, all
Black
bets are
swords like
off.
me.
Yeah, I'm not going to call
All
anyone
right.
for saying anything
I
bad.
get called a spick. as well, so
Okay.
everyone fucking likes me.
Okay.
Listen, the
Me and
liberals will
Liesel-
call you an idiot, but I will call you a retard.
Me and Lethal send each other Berserk memes on Instagram like 24/7.
Yeah, most of them we can't share here.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
It's like the Berserk is literally like the there was a meme that got passed around of like, hey, what is Berserk about? And it's just Trump going rape and murder, rape and pillaging, rape and killing.
They're eating the cats too.
That's not invalid though. I mean, that's definitely a large portion of it. Like,
So
it's pretty
yeah,
bad.
A large portion. That's most of it, Muffler. What are you talking about?
No,
That's
You
I-
didn't get to the magic. I don't want to hear shit from
No,
you.
I'm
okay?
saying-
To the magic.
Very Disney-esque
finish
later on, okay?
to finish up my point that I was making about like the uncomfortable content part of like a story. I think everyone here has pretty well acknowledged that, like, yeah, you should be able to, address very uncomfortable topics when needed or go over things. Berserk is a series that really does benefit from that because it creates a more visceral experience. When you're like reading, you're kind of like putting yourself in the position of like characters like Gus, someone who has basically, been abused, mistreated, like absolutely had like a hell of a life throughout the entire series. And knowing his backstory and just how fucked up everything was there really helps you kind of understand. There are even certain things in this anime where they cut like his reactions to Casca. So you know how like after he comes back, they have their whole moment under the waterfall and everything.
Mhm.
In the manga, he has a very violent reaction to that because of what happened to him as a kid.
Yes, he
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the anime only ever says like, "Don't touch me. I don't like being touched." But it's a bit more full on than that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, that
Question as well.
hit me with it.
Okay, Roman.
Yeah.
So-
what's up?
What's the difference between like why do you like stuff that's arguably has moments that are extremely dark, such as like Tokyo Ghoul, Attack on Titan, Chainsaw Man, like you're cool with
I've never
that
seen
stuff.
Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, he wasn't
Okay,
there for
well,
Tokyo Ghoul, which still hurts me.
I can answer this question if because I did a whole segment on my podcast about depressing anime and whatnot.
Well, I don't even mean necessarily depressing. I just mean more so like darker stuff. Because like I've seen him love some darker stuff. Like you and I have had great conversations about some of the darkest things that are in like some really hardcore Star Wars books, or some of like things like that, or some old Marvel stuff. But like, what's the difference like here as opposed to that? Because like you were cool with all of Attack on Titan, you never have a problem with that, and there's some brutal shit in there. So I mean, like, same with Chainsaw. Is it because of like you didn't quite? I don't know, because what you have told me is that with those characters that are in these things, like Anakin Skywalker, for instance, in Star Wars, like you do associate with that character a little bit more. Is that maybe the thing here, or that's just what I'm trying to ask?
Yeah, no, I mean that's kind of. Here's my thing, like, if I can, not like relate to, but like associate with a character, then I think it's easier for me to, not like bypass like the super brutal stuff, but like, it's easier for me to, I don't know how to say it, like, it's easier for me to digest it, but like when it comes to Berserk, bro, like, also Attack on Titan was something that
Really
It's hard.
quick here, Roman. Are you trying to say that it's the overall density of this more brutal content that's the problem, rather than
yes,
necessarily the
yes.
content itself?
So that was the question,
not-
basically. Yeah.
it's not the content, it's the density of how much there like is in it. Like it's just
Mhm.
like, to me, and this isn't me saying that I hate it because I like it, but it's just like it just doesn't stop. You know what I mean? Like it's just non-stop. at least
Yes, yeah,
in
I'm
my
cool with
eyes.
that.
It gets a little bit better, but you're not to the better parts yet. Buddy.
I was going to
So-
say the early part of the series that I had you guys cover is probably one of the most brutal parts because it probably has the densest amount of that like struggler mentality of it. It's still fucked up later on, but there are a
It
lot
is.
more.
It is.
There's a lot more levity once you get to a character like Puck.
I
Have
feel
you
like
guys seen what they're
Dragon
saying about the newest arc that's not done yet?
No.
Well, I've read every
But,
single chapter. And it seems pretty.
Oh,
brutal.
they're putting out.
So,
I have only heard people
We'll
saying
see.
that this isn't Guts. He's too much of a crybaby. Oh, why is he like this? It's like it's because he lost his hope.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you want to know why he's like that? Read the fucking story, and you know why he's like that. But
He's been like
there's
that
actually,
a couple times.
yeah. I mean, remember what he was like?
Are we going into spoiler? Are we allowed to spoil things or no?
Big time. I'm spoiling. like
Yeah,
shit.
it's fine.
I was about to say.
So sorry,
we're
I'll
gonna
just
get
be
into
really quick.
spoilers.
What they've actually come out and said is they've said that this newest arc that they're working on is going to be way darker than the Eclipse, is what they've said.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
he's diving into his own
So,
mind.
so Koji
Yeah.
Mori is taking Studio Gaga and being like, yeah, you know how like this is notorious for being fucked up. We're gonna push the envelope even more.
Now that could just be sales pitch and whatnot, but the way the story's going, I think personally that
Someone's
Guts
gonna
is
get
kind of
sacrificed
a-
to that Bayhillet they've been carrying.
I
around.
think he
Yeah,
at the
Before we
moment
proceed,
I think at the moment he's a reflection of Griffith. He's in the exact same position that Griffith was in when he
Yes.
made the choice to do the Eclipse.
He has that Beelit from the Black Swordsman arc, right?
I've got-
He got that Beelit from the
Yeah,
very
Yeah.
he's been carrying that Baylet around. Puck has been guarding it,
Bet
but
you.
he's been carrying it with him the whole time.
Betchy.
I bet you likes
Is
That's
there
my,
any-
that's my Baylet. Yeah.
is there any chance that we see the new Berserk stuff?
No.
in
No,
in a
never
show or
happening.
no?
It's never ever gonna happen, man.
No, bro, dude,
What do you
there's
mean,
so
in
many.
this political environment where everybody's afraid of like saying bad words, you think we'd get a adaptation?
You get another Golden Age remake at best.
I was about
The
to say,
problem
as
is-
far as this goes, they tried to do Uvel Blet not too long ago, which is another sort of like dark fantasy series.
Yeah.
And they carved all of the graphic sex content out of it. I actually went and read the manga after watching the anime when it came out. I was like, holy shit, this elf dude is hornier than I ever fucking imagined.
Well, like, because I think the other problem besides like censorship is allowed. So we saw Studio Eclipse wanted to do their crack at it, and then the large corporations is like, oh hell no, that belongs to us.
Yep.
So that's part of the problem. So when there's actual fans who are willing to give it actual like good depiction and like good art and everything, we see that get turned to the wayside too.
That's actually
Yeah, the
real
best
quick,
we
though-
seem to get is just like short, like 2-3 minute clips. Like someone animated the Guts versus Rosine fight.
Yeah,
and that's
I've
just
seen
all
that.
it is.
I
I
saw
don't
that,
even
dude,
think there's
that's
any
sick.
talking in it either.
No, it's just noises.
Mhm.
You talking for the Mist Valley, right? Because I think
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm,
okay.
that's yeah, and yeah. As far as I don't think
if I could real fast, like they did the same exact thing to they're doing the same thing to different creators right now that are making like Star Wars content or Marvel content that's just like fan made like fights of characters. And they're doing that. They did the same exact thing to the guy that was actually animating the Blood War for Bleach before, and it was taking him years. And he actually got up to like Byakuya fighting with Aznov for the first time and getting like fucked up. He got all the way up to there, and then they like shut him down. And then the Blood War got announced like 2 years later.
real quick, the guys that were doing the Black Swordsman arc, the thing is they took fan funding and stuff too on that, so that's part of the reason that was levied against them on why it got shut down. However, there are some guys that left that and started a new project or teamed up with some other guys that are redoing. I don't think the Black Swordsman, maybe a different arc. I'm not 100% for sure on that, but they're working on Berserk material again. Only this time it's completely, no fan funding. They're not taking money from anybody. So hopefully that'll avoid the Eye of Sauron on their ass.
Well, that's how
hoping
Theory's
anyway.
getting away with Vader. That's how Theory's getting away with the Vader fan film. He's not taking any funding. He just started a company to make lightsabers to make the money for it. Plus the YouTube
And
show.
then never puts out the fucking movie.
Oh, it's coming out in like 2 months.
Oh, I've heard that before.
I'm a member. I've already seen the trailer. It's really dope.
Anyway,
I've seen trailers for stuff that haven't come out too.
That's true. You're correct, Lethal. We'll see it though. Trust me.
Outer
very
Scrolls.
In the members.
anyway, getting away from the Todd Howard delay tactic, Berserk. So yeah, I mean, as far as like getting an anime, it would be a dream come true to see it get an anime. But like there have already been a couple of issues raised with the idea of Berserk getting adapted. First of all, just the environment that it would be coming out in today would almost require it to be like brutally carved apart, much like the original anime.
I was going to say, like the new re-release, the Memorial Edition of the Golden Age arc, that is actually surprisingly brutal. I was checking out some of the more controversial elements of that. That is pretty shocking. Like I did not expect it to be that bad, and I was like, "Is it that way in the manga?" Yes, it was. I just misremembered some parts, so they cut some stuff out still. But that was just a couple years ago.
Well, I mean,
I think the bigger issue that we would be facing with this would be specifically what studio would this go to?
Fair point.
Because you could end up with something like a Bug Films, where they just absolutely fuck over an anime for no reason.
If it's Mappa, I think we might be okay, but it'll take 17 years for it to come out.
Mappa's pinching out
No.
Hell's Paradise right now so they can focus on Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, but I mean, like, in the future, if it were to be somebody like Mappa did a pretty solid job with the Reze arc.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
so Alpha Omega brought up an interesting point talking about Japanese broadcast regulation. So here's the thing. MAPPA may be an exception because MAPPA did partner up with Netflix. Okay, so maybe if you just stream it and not have it on broadcast television and MAPPA makes it, maybe that'll work. Maybe.
That could likely work, yeah.
Netflix just better keep their tip out of the fucking.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. All right.
Okay, second greatest Berserk meme. Read Berserk.
Yeah.
I think my
The Uncle
favorite
Ruckus
Berserk
one's
meme.
better.
From one of the worst characters.
I actually hold on. I'm gonna kill my camera here.
Wait,
and I am
Vagabundo, what's your
going to-
favorite? What's your favorite Berserk meme?
Oh, I have that saved right here too. Hold on.
My favorite Berserk
I keep
meme
this
is,
one close by.
is the John Wick guarding Freer while she reads Berserk.
Nice.
Okay, so
That's
here's
a
my
classic.
most. This is my most favorite Berserk meme.
Press the
that
wrong
I
thing.
got.
What?
Oh.
Most favorite Berserk meme?
Yes.
Oh God!
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God!
No.
Oh no! Oh no!
He was a cool guy up until that point.
No,
This is
for
my
real.
most favorite.
Dude, in 97, every time they played Guts theme, whenever Griffith was with the princess, it freaked me out. I was like, what the hell is this? What
were
is even
afraid of
happening?
Guts'
You know? Yeah,
Oh,
anyway,
well,
it just freaked
it's
me.
my favorite meme because it does freak people out. I'm kind of like,
That's ridiculous.
well, that was because like I do feel a lot since we got a lot of tourists and stuff. They for me, in my opinion, is a lot of people are like kind of pansies now, whereas
Yeah.
like you can't have any dark or humorous material. Like like we're talking about pixels and drawings and stuff, and then like you go in there and like, oh man, like people who can't handle Made in Abyss. I love it, how dark it is, and I can't wait for the next movie to come out or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's like I do like watching dark things, not because like I could separate from things I actually like. I don't believe in murdering people, but I could watch murdering in anime all day and night with
Does
no
playing
qualms.
Khajiit in Skyrim make you a thief? No, I mean, like, yeah.
No, exactly.
Actually, that one's a bit debatable.
Yeah, that's actually
Shut the fuck up! I'm doing a Khajiit thief run. Fuck you.
That depends.
Khajiit has
Yeah,
layers
all the
of
time.
happens.
You're literally
What
doing
happens?
a Khajiit thief run. And you say, does playing a Khajiit make you a thief? Come on, bro. Playing
Well,
a-
like for instance,
Khajiit has wares.
like I watched
Dude, I have
all
wares if
of
you have the- your roads lead you to warm sands.
like I watched all of Please Put Them on Takame-san, right? And I loved it because of how ridiculous it is, and when you tell someone the description or the premise of it is, but like there's these certain individuals who be like, how could you watch such a thing? They're in high school or whatever and all that. I'm like, come on, man. We were in high school one time or the other. It's like not that big of a deal. Like I almost
How
went out
could
with
you
one of
read
my
Harry
teachers.
Potter?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
I agree. I completely agree. And you know, I still think to this day one of the craziest things I've ever seen on a screen is Alderaan getting blown up and Obi-Wan saying, "I just heard a million fucking voices go silent." That is some dark and twisted shit. But if I want to see a 6-foot dude swing a fucking sword around, I'm a prick.
Yeah. Okay, so
Depends on what sword he's swinging.
He literally says billions of voices cried out in terror and pain and then were silenced. And like they're like, that's a kid's movie. Like what? Star Wars is made for kids.
As far as the dark content stuff goes, like I think one of the reasons I really like Berserk is I guess I have just a sort of like masochistic tendency when it comes to fiction.
Me too.
So like a lot of my favorite series are just fucking brutally painful to get through. So like I can name 3 off the top of my head that are like just emotionally brutal at times. Berserk, obviously, there's that. But even just like anime, like ReZero is my favorite anime, and that one can be that one. I think it doesn't help itself with the torture porn allegations.
Correct.
And then Cowboy Bebop, which I mean, the way that ends is just.
Well, I think
Sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say for me, the beauty of Berserk and other dark fiction or even fiction that has like dark themes to it at times is usually the writing makes you feel for the character, right? And so you feel like if you watch a show and a character just dies and you feel nothing for it, I don't think the writer did a good job. But in these darker themes, usually there's always a point in writing where they kind of get you to fall in love with the character have some type of connection with them, right? And so then when the dark thing happens to them, you really feel for the character or how evil the villain is or whatever. And that's why we all hate Griffith, right? So
there's a lot of reasons.
Except for this guy.
My first well, because my first thing with Berserk was I went to Blockbuster, rest in peace, Blockbuster. I saw a VHS tape with a guy holding the giant sword. You know, I'm a boy. I like swords, and there's a guy with this giant ass sword. So I get my mom to check it out for me. I get home, and it was the first 3 episodes of Berserk, and I was like, wait a minute, there are cartoons like this, and Berserk is like. This is the true story. Berserk is and shout out Alpha Omega, Blockbuster, friends of the channel. Berserk is one of the is the anime that got me really into animes. Of course, I've seen animes at the time, but I didn't know they were anime like Speed Racer and stuff. But like Berserk was like, man, there's fiction like this that like with actual storytelling and plot, and it keeps moving forward instead of like Scooby Doo, whatever happened last. A guy they caught didn't matter anymore the next episode. And so then like I was like, I gotta go find more, and Berserk is what set it off for me.
Well, where Berserk stands apart in regard to this stuff is there's so many series out there that try to be dark and they just end up being depression porn for the sake of being depression porn, and there's no substance to it. It's just whatever fucked up thing we can make up will happen, and you go to Vagabond's point, you go, but I don't care. You're just doing it for the sake of doing it. There's no story. There's no characters to it. It just doesn't fucking matter. You're just being miserable for the sake of being miserable, and that's just shit. You know, and it's not a case of it's too full on. You go, it's just boring. It's fucking boring. You know, and then you have a character like Puck, who some people will say maybe lightens the story a little bit. Fair enough, but even Puck has his like share of problems going on as well. And when you get a character like Guts is a good source of inspiration. I'm not saying you pick up a sword and just fucking go around chopping everyone's heads off, right? But his ability to persevere, to struggle, to keep going. You go, there's substance there. There's something that everyone can relate to. Okay, no one's life is perfect. Life is fucking hard at its best moments. All right, But then you go like at the risk of sounding cringe, you know, what would Guts do? You know, you just keep fucking going forward and whatnot. That's what it's all about. One thing that really shits me is when a series is just depressing and dark for the sake of being depressing and dark. You're not edgy. You're just fucking boring.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. Well, you raised the point that I was going to.
When you're finished and then Roman goes, I have a small point to make about that.
Yeah. No, Lethal basically raised one of the points that I was going to make is like with all of this, like, yeah, Berserk is brutal and dark in its storytelling, and there are a lot of hard moments. But I think one of the things that I really, really liked about it is that Guts kind of fits into an archetype that I really, really like. It's like he's someone who is just going to keep struggling through it all because he's fixated on something. It isn't someone who, like, I mean, now obviously in the later chapters you kind of have him in this position, but for the large swath of the manga up to that point, he's someone who is kind of always like moving on to the next thing. If something doesn't work out, all right, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Just survive, push through, beat it back, kind of stuff. I enjoyed that part of it because it's one of those things where because the main character isn't sitting there completely giving in, completely breaking down, it sort of alleviates that depression that you would feel. And this is one of the big issues that I had with you mentioned like a series that just like kills people and tries to be dark because it can. There are some of the problems that I had with anime, like I mentioned Ubel Blett already, or Kingdoms of Ruin, where you're literally just sitting there killing people en masse because you're like, oh, wow, genocide, edgy, death, destruction, all that. Like, I don't give a shit.
Well, so kind of to your points, I mean, like so when it comes to like dark stuff and like when it comes to Berserk, yes, like I see all of your points, and I'm not, disagreeing. What I'll also say though too is, I think that kind of like to what Lethal was saying too. There are stories that are just dark for the sake of dark, and that to me kind of doesn't really resonate. But there's also stories that like are dark, have hope, and then like end stupidly. I'm looking at Evangelion. At least
Fuck you.
Roman's trying to start wars with everyone.
You're starting to fight now, buddy.
At least the anime.
You're going to say Attack on Titan, but
no. Okay, so but listen to me. So I'm gonna do something here. So here is the thing. Absolute Batman, when that first starts, it's nihilistic as hell. Like it is so unnecessarily dark, but it kind of turns into like not comparing them because Guts is written better than how Bruce is written in Absolute Batman, but Bruce Wayne kind of becomes like he's just pushing through, kind of like how Guts is. So
Roman, would it be unnecessarily dark if it does end up being extremely light? Couldn't I argue that it's unnecessarily light in the opposite at the end of the story? Like, so you need the darkness to get to the light, do you not?
That's true. To be fair though, when it comes to Berserk, like I just you guys say that it lightens up later. Here, I will actually be brave. I'm going to continue reading because I want to see like what happens afterward. And so
I will say it's as more and more characters are added to the main cast that it starts to feel better.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get through the second major arc for it to get better. I'm just giving you a heads up, okay? You have to go through the Tower of Conviction, all right? But keep going.
I don't, and like well, I'm just trying to say like I don't hate this anime or the manga. I like it. Just I'm trying to explain this. Like I haven't seen the full picture, so I can't say whether or not like the point of it being dark all will come together at some point. That's all that I'm trying to say. Because I'm just saying, like, Roland, you said that you had a point, so.
My only point was when it comes to the darkness and the way that it's done, when you have a character that kind of feels like they're like everything is working out for the most part, those getting out of everything. When the darkness actually does hit, it feels so much better. So my examples here would be Tokyo Ghoul would be the first example. When Kaneki gets captured by Jason, that's the first, like, that's the major dark, crazy shit. You're like, okay, this is a different type of show. Like the beginning, he gets attacked by Reze. Yeah, sure, whatever. That's crazy. He gets into the world. The world is weird, right? But that, he's literally forced to pick between two people, which one to kill, just for shits and giggles, to break his mind and also body. Like that's some dark shit. And that's when I realized I fucking like this type of writing a lot. Well, I mean, I think I realized that in Revenge of the Sith at 2005. But going forward,
Yeah.
I would also say that Star Blazers has a lot of dark moments, especially in season 2. And in season 2, when you're dealing with the Gamelons and all that shit, there's a lot of crazy sadistic shit as like that goes down.
I feel like even there though, that one kind of pales in comparison to what we're talking about here.
No, of
That's
course
more so the classic kind of like trouble and villainy you would expect out of a series. I wouldn't necessarily classify it as being dark.
Some of the aspects of the things that when you look into them, it would be extremely dark, like the cloning program for the other guys and shit like that.
The Gotlantians.
Yeah, the Gotlantians. And then obviously Ghibli movies have some pretty dark shit in them a lot of times, even though it's meant for kids, right? And then the last thing I would say is, to Crimson's point, that if the dark shit happens to a character, then we feel way more for that character, and it's very much worth it. So it's like, I'm gonna bring it up, but I have to with Bleach here. I'm gonna say we watch Ichigo pretty much do really well up until Orihime gets captured by Grimmjow, and then they go back to the Quakemundo, and then shit gets real. And you literally watch him get his ass kicked over and over and over again. And then we go to the Blood War, and it's all the characters that we know throughout the entire show, and people are dying, and it's legit. And there's some very dark scenes. And what I would say is it's darker in the manga, but they did everything dark for the most part in the show, but they wouldn't quote the stuff about, like, you're a man, aren't you? Like, they wouldn't do that. They censored that stuff. But my point is, when you have these different characters in all of this different shit, I mean, you could even use Harry Potter as an example, right? You're going to care a lot more about Harry towards the end of the series with all the dark stuff. You'll care about freaking Dean Thomas when he's fighting somebody in the Deathly Hallows book way more than you did, right? And there's some fuck shit going on. So, like, having dark writing within a story, in my opinion, really adds to it. Like the Red Wedding is still talked about, even though people hate Game of Thrones, they'll still tell you the Red Wedding is one of the best scenes from any television show.
Yeah, I guess I want to mention two things. My bad. You can go first.
No, the minority gets priority.
I think Vagabundo been waiting too. I'm sorry, buddy.
He's been waiting.
Oh, no worries. Well, I think, twofolds. The first one, towards everyone else's point. So like if you start off with like I guess I'll mix these two things together. So the cool thing about Guts is, which makes you fall in love with him, in a straight type of way. He's a dude that goes through every manly emotion, right? So as you're reading Berserk, he's comes off as first as a loner, which I'm sure as a guy, there's times of your life where you just, hey, I just want to be to myself and do my thing only. Guts falls in love.
Dude, I'm there right now.
Right. Spoilers for anyone who didn't get that far, but he falls in love with Casca, and as a man, do everything you can do that you can do to take care for the one that you love. and no matter what position. So that Guts represents that, and then he suffers loss where he loses the friends that he actually earned, and there's times he has to work with people, and so that's where the new crew comes in, right? And so he goes through every manly thing that you can kind of come up with. And then the second thing I want to add is for just the whole series, and I think a 1-to-1 thing to it is the first Alien movie, right? They get you to fall in love. And for me, the Alien is the first Alien movie is the greatest horror fiction of all time for
Dude, I love it.
action movies.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, and the way they do that too is you got this dark capsule that everyone's trapped in, but they make you fall in love with the characters and the crew, how they interact with each other, and then the alien, when it finally comes out, is their eclipse, and then you just end up with one survivor at the end and the cat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all trying to kill each other. Not kill each other, but like some are freaking out. They're screwing each other over like in certain ways, or they're messing up, and it's just making everything worse. No one's listening to Ripley. It is a fantastic movie. Fantastic movie.
Yeah, it's like just in the writing, there's a lot of structure that goes into the way Berserk does all this stuff. As far as like the suffering, the doom and gloom that comes with a lot of the events of the series, it's not without a point. It's not without some sort of counterpart to it. Like we can talk about, how like you have the whole like tragedy of like Guts's backstory and all that. And how that is ultimately resolved later on, like as he becomes, a part of the Band of the Hawk. How like he starts to fall in love with Casca. He finds basically a group of people that he's comfortable around, that he actually cares about, who he is genuinely invested in for once in his life. And ironically, it's ultimately that. I think the part, like the way the anime portrays it in the 97 version was very interesting because it makes it it kind of emphasizes this idea that Guts leaving the Band of the Hawk was because he wanted to be Griffith's equal, and he couldn't necessarily find what it was that was his dream. Pretty much, he didn't have that thing. So ultimately, he saw himself as never being able to be, Griffith's equal, and therefore never being able to be his friend, in spite of the fact that they were close, like very, very close to each other. One of the things I will point out, like random, like little hilarious moment in the manga that got cut in the anime, was when they're first plotting the assassination of the king's brother.
Yeah.
Like he goes in and Griffith is sitting there doing all the reading. He's going through like the list of all the different types of books and everything. And then he says, even this, and he hands Guts like a copy of like the Kama Sutra or something.
Oh yeah.
It's basically just a book of sex positions. And he has like the dumbest look on his face as he's handing the book to Guts. In the anime, the book just appears in Guts's hand as he sits down. Like he doesn't have the book in one instance. He comes back around and he sits down and he has the book. He's flipping through it. I'm just like, man, they cut the scene where Griffith gave Guts porn while they're having their casual conversation.
It's because he knew he could handle it.
It's stuff like that where you learn to like balance the darker elements of it. You can have a significant chunk of like dark, brutal storytelling, but being able to balance it out, and two, being able to distinguish between nihilism and tragedy.
Yeah. I mean, Attack on Titan is just nihilism. Like that just to me is just like that is too much of like nihilism. And that also to me is why I at first was hard on Absolute Batman, but it's starting to not be nihilistic. But Muffler, I know that you had something that you wanted to say, so you can
I was just going to say real fast, there's a massive distinction between nihilism and just.
Well, people often make that mistake, but Muffler Tape.
Oh yeah, sorry guys. So there's a lot that's been said, and I don't necessarily disagree with what anybody has said so far. Like I think, I was mentioning, Vinland Saga earlier and stuff. And when I think about it, both of them they're very much mirrors. And I think Berserk coming out first would have been the baseline, where, obviously Mira's coming up with this story and how to convey these difficult emotions and this tragic story that Guts goes through. But then you have the same thing that happens in Vinland Saga, except it's a reverse, where there tries to be, like a much more positive interpretation of it, where it's not nihilism that's in Berserk. It's just as close as you can get to that line without crossing, in my opinion. I mean, it's very dark, but at the same time, it still feels like it's alive. It doesn't feel like, there's like a sacrifice, like where it's just like completely done, even if they're branded, it doesn't matter. Right. I'm saying that like, it just feels differently compared to something like an Attack on Titan, where that is literally a character just giving up and just choosing like, well, this will be the permanent solution or whatever. It's like, well, that's not how that works. And, there's just some other issues. But anyway, so I don't have much to add on that. What I was going to say was influence wise, Vagabundo brought up something interesting about Blockbuster. And the only thing I had to add briefly on that before we switch subjects was around the fact that when I was a kid, my dad showed me heavy metal. Okay, so that is like an American version of like dark fantasy and stuff. And I'm sitting there going like, this is wild.
That's awesome.
And
awesome.
Now when I tell my dad, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm reading Berserk now. We're doing this thing and stuff. I'm like, it's like the Japanese version of heavy metal or something. It's dark.
Heavy metal.
It's stuff, right? So I try to mention that to the old man, and fun stuff. Anyway,
so not to like try and like force the conversation, but there are a couple of things I do want to hit here as far as like the stream tonight. So one of the big things for me,
force the conversation.
Well, I mean, I don't mean to force the conversation, but I'm going to force the conversation in a new direction.
Exactly.
We need to.
Yeah, I'm gonna give us a new topic to go on here. One of the big things that like annoyed me about the 97 version was content cuts. We've kind of talked a little bit about this, but I want to be more specific. I already mentioned that you had stuff with like Puck isn't in the anime. He should have been in that first episode there because that's his first appearance. They also like I said, made changes to where like they didn't have Griffith just like handing Guts the Kama Sutra. There are more egregious cuts to this. I mean, among them is some of the fights that happen shortly after they break Griffith out. Like they completely remove Wylad as a character.
Yes. That character is fucking hardcore, man.
He's more vile than Griffith, and that is impressive.
He is disgusting. He is a disgusting motherfucker.
Arguably, though, the more egregious cut is the Guardians of Desire arc.
Yes.
Which is a huge reason why I think a lot of people who watch the anime have problems. And hey, speaking of the questioners,
Stop questioners.
The Guardians of Desire like explains how the sacrifice to the God Hand works. It characterizes Guts in a completely different light than what the anime gives you during that period of time. And
JM Elite fan too. What's up, JM Elite fan? Good to see you, man.
No, I mentioned you earlier talking about how one of our first interactions was arguing over Berserk. Basically, Guardians of Desire is kind of a critical opening part of the series, and they completely cut that from the anime. That's where actually like during that is where Guts gets the Bahamut, where you are introduced to Griffith for the first time, where you are meet the concept of like the God Hand, hell, all the supernatural. You're given a ton of stuff in there that's critical, but more importantly is Guts' interaction with the Count's daughter.
Yeah,
and it kind of shows how he's actually a really good person at heart, but he has a very standoffish way of going about things. He's perfectly willing to let this girl hate him and want to kill him for the rest of her life if it keeps her going.
Yep. Another change that they made was so in the anime, when Guts first sees the Bahamut and its face comes on and starts screaming, Guts his reaction to it is very odd, considering he's never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
Whereas in the manga, like just the concept of magic and mystical shit is already established, so it makes sense why he doesn't react so much to it.
Didn't Guts also meet Skull Knight in? I'm trying to remember in the Golden Age. Like, isn't that his first encounter?
He meets him a lot earlier on, but he doesn't really see him. He just kind of appears, and he's just like, "Yo, my G, shit's about to be fucked hard in your cock."
Yeah, I was like, because that's why like they don't even show that. It explains how like Skull Knight being there explains how they get out of the eclipse, like how they survive that and all that, because he swoops in and rescues them.
Yep.
But like him not just being in there and like giving the warning for like, hey, there are things like it's in tandem with Zod's warning. Like if you consider yourself a friend of, or if you consider yourself this man's friend, then nothing but doom awaits you.
Well, if everyone's done with their point, I think I can kind of defend the anime a little bit, the 97 one at least. So, so back.
I like how he had to clarify. I can't defend the 2016. I can't do it.
We don't talk about 2016. It's the first rule of the Berserk Club. You don't talk about 2016.
Yep.
Yeah. So, the point I want to make is that a lot of anime back in the day, mostly back in the day, there's some that still do it now, but the point of the anime is to get you to go buy the manga, and I think, that's why they did remove some stuff and take some liberties, because then it leaves you. So the way the 97 anime ends, it leaves you at a cliffhanger where you're like, oh shit, I want to find out more about the story. Which so then it forces you to actually go buy the manga and go read it for yourself. And so that's why I know it was like, how many, it was like 56 episodes or whatever for the 97 one. So
it's 25.
25. Yeah.
Oh, 25. I don't know why I said 56.
And
but
to
yeah,
your point, like I understand they only have so much time with those 25 episodes. They had to make cuts somewhere in order to get all that in there.
Yeah, I wish it was 56 episodes. Fuck.
Yeah. But like but basically what it does, it's like, okay, we got so much that we can fit in here. What can we do? And I think that's what it is, because unlike a lot of animes today, just for being an anime, the anime is, and I think a lot of people in the West don't understand that, is that the anime is actually like a commercial for the manga, and the to go get you to buy that. Because even in Chainsaw Man, right, if you watch the anime, and why a lot of people are mad is because they're like, oh well, that wasn't the manga. Well, my argument is always the anime is always the one to get you to go buy the manga in the first place.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Well, they do that a lot these days. Is like you'll get one season adaptations of stuff that are to push you to buy, like to basically go buy the source. That's their big monetization route. I get that. Like as far as that goes, my critiques of it are more so just from a storytelling perspective, to where it kind of ruins certain parts because there are so many like pieces to Berserk that all play into each other. That if you start removing one or two of them, there are a couple of complicated series out there that are like that. But Berserk is a really good example because you can point to things that are very clearly integral. Like, again, the Guardians of Desire. It does a lot to set up the character that you're working with. It does a lot to set up the supernatural elements. And it basically sort of leads to like a prelude of what you're about to see out of this whole series.
Well, also to add to that, I so on my channel, if you remember Theo, I don't know anyone else. So Theo on my channel, Snodgrass, is my resident non-anime watcher that happens to stay on my podcast for some reason. So so I got him to read Berserk, and he's not really an anime person. He's like, I don't understand why people sit and watch this stuff and whatever Catholic stuff he does. He's hooked on Berserk, so so he's been texting me about it. He's like, man, this is the greatest thing I ever read in my whole life. So, I might have to do another Berserk talk here.
Yeah, he'll like the Antichrist, analogies. Yeah.
Listen, bro. I mean, you might be a Catholic, but like, you can still love dope stories and anime, man. Like,
there's Catholic.
You don't have to be a Matt Walsh. It's okay.
There's Catholic characters. Farnese is Catholic.
You know,
basically, yes, the holy sea.
Matt Walsh. I think Matt Walsh says the shit on purpose. I bet you Matt Walsh has like a secret lair. Okay, no one's
he's got body
He has,
pillows.
like,
He's got body pillows.
Yeah.
He's down there watching like Emo, like in his like secret little like anime cave.
Yeah, well, like not to derail from the Berserk, but like I think because what he normally does and people fall for it every time is he'll post something ridiculous on like anime or whatever, and then the next day he posts some content somewhere like that's like the complete opposite, but then no one ever sees the secondary post. So I think he does it to like a rage bait type of deal. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna get all this traction.
So he's Griffith.
Wait, hold on.
The eclipse was just rage bait. Calm down, guys.
Matt Walsh is going to sacrifice the Republican Party to the God Hand to enact what was it, like Agenda 2026, 2025 or something like that.
That's why people from Daily Wire are
sorry, Project 2025. That's what it was.
So jumping on the cut content. So to what Marcel's concerns were. So Marcel had an issue about the depiction of Guts on the assassination attempt regarding how he dealt with the uncle, the brother, so the next in line to the throne, his son and stuff.
Basically, Griffith was retaliating against an assassination attempt.
Correct. So to illustrate this, the cut content is multiplicative, in this case. So you're dealing with the fact that, well, for one, you cut out Guts' backstory. So he doesn't come off as a tragic figure, at the start, the way he should be, In addition to that, the actual encounter itself is mischaracterized, where in the manga, it's very clear that he does not know who is behind the door. The door is just ajar. He hears something, and he goes to, stop that threat because he can't be seen. Otherwise, the project fails. So he just rushes to do this. Then after the fact, he realizes it's a child, and then because of his tragic story leading up to that point, it hits him very hard and emotional at that point, and that's all removed too. So it just comes across like it's like, oh, whoopsies, I guess I'll just move on now. Mm-hmm. So it totally destroys his character, in my opinion. It's like a character assassination at that point.
Yeah, and they even added, like, he sees them clearly. You yourself can see him clearly, and then you can hear the kid saying guards calling out.
Yep.
And it makes it seem like he killed him because he was snitching or whatever.
Yeah, it's the anime does it in a way that makes it so, like, the way I read it in the manga is it's even structured differently than the anime. So in the anime, you fully see the kid walk in, and then say guards, and Guts turns around and rushes him. Yes. In the manga, it's a little bit less clear cut, like you were saying, where Guts hears the door open, turns and rushes to kill whoever's about to see him. And that's when the kid calls out right before he's killed. Or Adonis calls out right before he's killed. And then after that, you have Guts like looking at him like, oh shit. He's like, hey, I'm here for you. Don't, like, I'm sorry. I didn't want to do this. I didn't mean to kill you. And it's even worse because, like, when you actually like watch it and read it, you see like Guts kind of like looks at Adonis as like his former self. Yeah. And then like the relationship that he had with Gambino and all of that. So it gets even more fucked up because he's just sitting there like, this kid was going through life like in a similar like relationship to his father that I had to the guy who raised me. And now here I am in the heat of the moment with my adrenaline pumping, trying to execute this mission flawlessly for Griffith's sake, accidentally killing someone who should have been living a decent life from here on out. Like, this is, it portrays the whole thing as kind of like a casualty of the war, or just politics in the manga. In the anime, it definitely makes Guts look terrible.
Yep.
Well, I mean, when I watched it in the anime, I still got the same feeling I did with the manga, where it was like, oh, well, I mean, of course he doesn't yell out guards, but the manga makes it make more sense that the guards do show up. But like, I when I saw it in the anime, it was more like because when I saw the anime first, it was more like, oh man, this is he just killed an innocent child, that was just mind his own business for Griffith.
Potentially, this could have been a problem. Like, yeah,
I can see that.
because they mentioned that the quickest way to the throne would have been for Griffith to marry Princess Charlotte, and the other person who would have been in his way would have been her cousin.
But I think that was only going to
Um,
happen because that guy, his dad, was going to push for it. So
Well,
I think,
the queen, if I remember correctly,
the queen,
she
right.
was, basically in cahoots with the.
she might have pushed for that too.
Yeah,
Maybe.
The other thing I would add too is that if they ever were to do a full adaptation, the issue is that if you cut content like that and mischaracterize that event, then that also has a knock-on effect for his relationship with Isidro, in my opinion, because he comes off as like a very caring mentor to him and trying to like sort of be a guiding force that's positive. And you can kind of see like him trying to like do the right thing, especially this time, compared to before and stuff. And even though, Isidro is like a bit of a wild character, the thing is that Guts, will still try to work with him quite a bit to try to do the right thing. So.
Another thing that got cut at the beginning of Berserk that I forgot to mention because it's such a minor thing that really helps: the carriage attack that happens.
Yeah.
So in the '97 version, they introduced the characters, the priest and Colette, in the bar, and Guts saves them from the bandits.
Oh, right. They did get repurposed.
But
in the anime.
in the manga, he meets those two on the road, and they pick him up. He warns them, "You shouldn't be near me. I'm being hunted by evil spirits." And the priest is just like, whatever. We're helping a friend. Come on, get in. So Guts gets in and all that, and then they have that whole encounter. There's that whole like shock moment where Guts is looking at basically like the possessed corpse of Colette as she's walking up to him. He's unable to do anything because he's freaked out over everything that's happened to him.
Well, yeah,
And
because
like borderline
skeletons, just straight up picked
well,
up.
that, and again, you're dealing with someone who has, like traumas from his childhood, as well as just the guilt of having killed Adonis previously.
Yep.
Like there's all that like weighing on this guy.
And
Like there's all of these compounding effects of these small little things that completely alter the way a character is perceived.
Indeed.
I mean, here's the thing, like, imagine if you cut out like crucial parts of say that like we didn't get to see Okarun wanting to become strong, and then he just like becomes strong, right? But we don't know like why he wants to become strong or why he wants to become a better person.
We just see him working
Like-
out one day. Is that what you're saying? Like, it's not him. It's not the whole reason. Like, we don't get the reasoning for it. He just starts doing it.
Yes.
Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
yeah. Like that's kind of how I feel about the 1997 Berserk anime. Is that like yes, I get the main premise about like what's happening, but there's crucial. Okay, not so much crucial, but like there's some stuff that would have helped to build the world better. You could have made it like 40 to 50 episodes and gotten more in there that I think would have helped to flesh the story out more. I get why they didn't make it longer, but I'm just saying from my own point of view, when you cut things out, like a lot of stuff, it feels to me like you just kind of, it's hard to tell the story properly. That's just like my own view.
So the next thing that I think was really significant that they cut out was related to the fallout from you're dealing with Griffith and the princess. Okay, so the fallout from that, like it in the defense of the Millennium version or whatever, the new retelling of the Golden Age, that does have some of the content for it, but it still doesn't even go the full measure because for whatever reason it's too sensitive of a topic. Okay, but the whole situation is the king is so distraught. He goes down and meets with Griffith, has a conversation with Griffith, personally tortures him as well. And that is when Griffith reveals, sorry?
Castrates him, doesn't he?
I don't know about that. It's implied, but
in the manga, he's castrated, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe towards the end of the torturing, but he didn't do it himself, the king.
And they even changed parts of the torture too, like where it's like, oh, we can't depict this creature being this ugly, deformed creature being the one that's torturing
becomes
him. We have to have a
Gollum,
tall.
basically.
Yeah, yeah. Right. So, but between that, like it's revealed that the king actually has feelings for his own daughter because of his first wife. And so you get to understand a little bit about the kingdom's politics as far as, well, the motivations of his now wife and some other issues that have compounding effects that stretch for arcs in the future until the end of the until the end of the Millennium Falcon arc. Like, there's all these repercussions that come from that relationship, and kind of what ultimately happens to Midlands, as a result. So that's another issue too. So sometimes it's unnecessary changes, and then sometimes it's like, well, you just completely cut this out, and this would have had a great effect if you were to continue the series, which, to Vagabundo's point, is probably, it's to sell the manga. We're not actually ever going to plan on continuing this, so let's just blow our load and go type of thing. So.
And again, if we're still talking about this, like the way the manga depicts it is, he opens the door and there's a shadow there. That's when Guts reacts and charges. Keep in mind that if you're in this situation, your adrenaline's probably pumping, and you're probably in, attack mode anyway. Whether he saw the kid or not, it probably didn't even register with him what was going on. He just knew whoever saw him he had to kill.
Right. Well, that's how I read it.
Again, that's why I would say it's more so just the tragedy of war. It's fucked up. I was literally reading it last night.
All right,
I know the
pull it
panel.
up. Can't we pull it up?
Look, to me,
He's talking about the anime when we're talking about the manga.
He says
he's saying he just read the manga.
No,
so
he
doesn't care about context. He seems to have these type of positions where if someone does something that's bad, no matter the context to him,
see, basically, it doesn't really matter. He killed an innocent boy to save his own ass. If you can't weigh the entire situation like that, then frankly, your opinion is worthless to me.
True.
Does that
I'm not saying that killing a child is right. This is one of the big things about Guts is, like, there are various cases where he does something that's abjectly wrong. Like, even after the eclipse, the way some of the ways he has treated Casca after that was
a little rough.
Even before that, he's in the wrong with Casca a lot of the time.
It's like this in real life, right?
I think the good example you mentioned real life here in the United States, there was an incident where a bunch of kids were doing a TikTok challenge, and they went up to a dude's door and started kicking it at like 2 or 3 in the morning. Well, the dude freaked out and panicked, grabbed a gun, and opened fire on the door because people were sitting there banging on his door at 3 in the morning. A couple of kids lost their life because of this.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it's the difference between evil and wrong. What Guts did was wrong, not evil.
Okay, so again, perfect example.
I'm going to send it to him.
Evil, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you the evil. Anakin Skywalker killing the Padawans was evil, but would that not still make it what he did at the end of Return of the Jedi?
We can even just keep it in universe, man. What Griffith did was evil.
Yes,
right.
That's what
literally the Antichrist. Yes,
that's evil. I'm just
saying.
Again,
your failure to interpret what I'm saying is almost laughably like stubborn at times.
That's not what anybody's saying, Marcel.
Yeah.
Marcel, there's nuance to it, right? So the way it's interpreted, well, like, because the way a lot of us see it is, okay, whatever it is, someone's coming in. He's just killed this guy that he was told to assassinate, and he can't leave any witnesses, right? And there's this random shadow that comes up, so he ends up killing the shadow, and it turns out it ends up being the kid, and he's distraught from it, but he can't linger there any longer, and then leaves. There's casualties of war even in real life where I'm sure when they're like, oh, we just bombed some facility that might have some weapons, I'm sure some other innocent people got hurt or whatever. It's just that's the way the cookie crumbles. It doesn't mean the people are evil. Sometimes.
Yeah, and again,
if
I'm
you were
looking at
Guts
this
in that
again.
situation, you would assume the first thing you would assume is it's a guard, it's a bodyguard.
Scum of the earth. That's great. That's great
here's the other thing. On top of that, like, have you never been so angry that you've done something stupid and then been like, fuck.
Okay, if we're going to talk about this again, we've had this whole conversation, Marcel, about how basically, like, you'll sit here and excuse Ainz Ul Gon and trapping people and murdering them for his own political causes.
Because it's charisma.
Yeah, we've had that whole conversation. But if Guts, who very clearly, we have the manga panels thanks to Muffler here that I'm trying to pull up and figure out here.
Nobody said that he was the victim. Not a single.
Yeah, nobody said that's a straw man in and of itself.
Yep.
That is literally a straw man.
Marcel, are you trying to compare Gus to someone like Light Yagami? Because there is no, comparison to that. Like, Light Yagami is evil.
So here's the first part of this. This is basically where you get to look. So he's basically just killed the guy, and someone walks in. This is how it's portrayed. If Guts knew who that was, there would be no silhouette. That's how manga is done. And
that could be somebody extremely dangerous.
We'll go to the next one here really quick while I pull.
And sadly, the thing is, it's a witness. At the very least, it's on instinct. He has to get rid of him because he is doing an assassination.
And then I've got the follow-up pages too. But yeah.
Well,
also, he's everybody trying to kill him. Like, he's basically the Punisher.
Well, Guts has to escape too, because I think even the anime this part is he doesn't realize who it is until after he does the stabbing.
Again, it's obscured here, as in Guts doesn't know what's going on. Reacting, I've been seen, kills the kid, realization of who it is. Like, it's very clear cut. And if you want to interpret everything that's going on there, in however fashion you want, I don't think Guts is a good person for what he did here.
He's not.
But this is again, it's a very clear example of just one of the tragedies of everything that's going on.
Right. I would argue Guts is still a good person. It wasn't like he did it on purpose. To kill the kid.
But I don't think any of us ever argued that he was a good person. Either.
Even before that, Guts has shown many times that he's not the most intelligent fellow, and Casca even makes the point. It goes, you have a tendency to swing your sword first and think second, which
she calls him a mad dog for a reason.
Yeah. And again, if you go, like I said at the start, if you go look at a lot of the characters that inspired the character of Guts, one of them being Mad Max. He ain't a fucking hero. I think you can make an argument that Guts isn't really a hero. I mean, he's kind of on the edge of it, but he does a lot of bad shit himself. I mean, the dude was prepared to burn down nations for Griffith until he said, you know what, maybe I want to go be like the Penguin and live in the mountains.
Well, it's because he was with somebody that made him think that he was always right. He was following somebody that he trusted completely. That's why he went to do this.
Yeah, he was his man.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, like, I think in real life, not everyone's there trying to save the world. Like, I think it's okay to be selfish and do things for yourself, and I think that's what Guts kind of represents, right? So he has his personal vendetta, whether it changes on any type of situation or day, but he's doing it. He's doing things that for himself. For the love of his life or people that are close to him. He's not necessarily trying to be Superman and just save everybody, which I think that makes Guts more relatable still to like most people.
I agree. And he's kind of got that that mentality of somebody that's, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a character in something like that. Like,
like,
gotta be somebody in Game of Thrones.
He'll save people if it's like in front of his face or something like that, all right?
Yeah.
But he's not going out of his way to like, all right, I need to go. There's something happened in this village, thousands of miles away. Let me go.
I gotta go save him. Yeah.
He's dead set on his own people. That's it. He's trying to get away from it all.
Again, the audience can clearly see that it is a boy. Yeah, like once you
There
see
we go.
the second part where it's less obscured but still hazed out, you can tell who it is. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the characters involved in the scene can tell what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's what they call
That's an
it.
unfair
Artistic.
projection of your perception onto a page.
Again, you haven't answered the question of have you ever been angry enough you've done something stupid and you're almost not even paying attention? That every single person has done that at least once in their life. Even if you were a kid having a temper tantrum, you feel bad about it afterwards.
Who's that YouTuber or whatever that was like punching holes in his wall from losing bets or some shit?
I don't know.
Boogie?
That could be any of them.
Miss Kip?
Yeah, Miss Kip. That sounds right. Yeah.
But yeah, Boogie with the axe in the wall, like.
There was, I forget, was it the Cobra guy? I don't know.
Maintain.
There was some kid that was like on Kick or whatever that was like he would lose all his. That's all he does is spend money on Kick, and then like he'll lose, punch holes in his wall, and he had to like tape the door shut or some shit.
All right, that's crazy.
That could be anybody.
It's just a dent. Yeah.
But I mean, no. I mean, there's been times that like even if you've said something to somebody,
I mean,
because you're angry,
I've almost
like,
cut my thumb off with a
that,
miter
I'm sorry.
saw because I was too locked in.
I mean,
That's what I
Marcel.
mean. Marcel, I think you're bullshitting me. There's been a time in your life you've been angry enough to do some stupid
Okay,
shit.
but if
even
that's
No,
true,
no,
that
I'll
means
give him
he
that
doesn't
because
understand.
I've never been completely blind rage myself. So
I don't mean
I was
blind
Count your
rage.
blessings.
I don't mean
Or,
blind
okay.
rage. I mean
A
angry
perfect
enough to
example.
do something that you weren't there. Guts was in blind rage. I don't mean blind rage. I mean
I don't think it was
angry
necessarily
enough.
blind rage. I just think
It wasn't blind rage. It was a panic.
It was.
Well,
it's
that
an
too. There's panic involved.
it's a literal interpretation of everything that's put on the page there. If you can see it, oh, therefore everyone else can see it. No, there are situations like this. It's canonically a dark room.
Not,
Well,
I'm not
it's late
saying
at night.
not only that, Kentaro
I'm not
Miura
saying I ever
purposely.
punched something. I'm not saying I ever punched something.
And again,
That's
it's not
it.
like I'm sitting here defending the actions that were taken. Like I think killing a child is still a bad thing to do. It's just again
Absolutely.
the difference between wrong and evil, and that is
Yes.
intention.
I don't think any of us went "fuck yeah" when he did it. Well, I think we all went, "Oh
Correct.
shit."
Yeah.
Especially the aftermath panels where Guts is losing it. So yeah, 100%. Like,
Well, the other thing too, the kid is clearly shadowed out, meaning the character. Like even when you read books, like when it's a character you don't know and they can't really identify them. Usually, even in words, they usually shadow out that person you can't see until the character that you're reading from their perspective gets closer, and then you get to reveal all the features. And Kentaro Miura did that in his drawings, where we shadowed out, don't know who this is until after the stabbing took place.
Yeah, I don't think the blind rage excuse for this one works, but Lethal, I know you had limited time. I tried to get you in on as much of this as possible so that we could, justify having you here. Thanks for coming on, first of all. But,
really quick. One last point I'll make is you brought up an interesting point. The difference between like the intention is what makes good and which makes wrong and evil. That's why I believe that the eclipse is more evil than the rumbling. Eren Yeager doing the rumbling, he, in his own retarded mind, he did think he was doing the right thing. He thought the ends justified the means. Griffith was doing it for the love of the game, right? He even put the cherry on top of that shit, and that was for no
That's
one
why
else but
Shinji's
himself.
wrong, Lethal. That's why Shinji's
Griffith
wrong,
is evil because he literally did it all out of spite.
Yeah. Because Aaron was like, I believe I'm making the world right. Griffith was like, oh, Mum, get the camera. This is going to be nuts. This is going to be the ultimate rage, mate.
Griffith is the slovenly whore of want. That is my nickname for him because he's just I gotta have it and stuff.
Well,
and he
not
has
only that, pin that guy down and make him watch.
Yes.
My boy loses his arm and is still like.
It gets worse though too. That's the thing. Like unless you read Demon Child, like it's even worse. And this is something we can get into when we get into like pure manga territory. But like it's so atrocious. Everything that he took from them. Okay, it is obscene, is what it is. Okay?
And it was all for the love of the game. It wasn't to make anything better. It was just Griffith number 1, baby. That's all that
Griffith was
going through his
pissed
mind.
off that Guts wouldn't be his.
Yeah.
Well,
And one last thing I want to quickly mention, and then I will go, is one part that I absolutely love is the fight with Rosine, is when Griffith is fighting Rosine, and people are scared of when Guts is fighting Rosine, and people are scared of Guts. They go, one is a literal fucking demon, and people are more scared of Guts because he's just in blind animal, black swordsman, murder, death, kill, death, murder mode, and that's all he thinks about. That part is something that I just wish we would get into a proper series animated. But yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Anyway, for those of you guys who don't know him, Lethal has his own channel here on YouTube that I just plugged there.
Yeah.
There's also the gaming podcast. Do you guys call it Gronkin or anything?
Gronkin, baby. We have John Graham on tomorrow, the creator of RB and the Chief,
cool.
and I will be making sexual assault jokes about it. I'm going to go full Griffith.
That guy's awesome. He's really
Yeah,
cool. He was on like a while ago, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's on a lot of things. He's a really cool dude. So we'll have him on tomorrow.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
I recently, after 7 months of delays due to life being homosexual, I finally put out the Claire Obscure review, and I believe next week we got Black Ops 7, and it's a nasty one. All right, boys and girls.
Yep. Thanks for coming on.
Take
I
care,
appreciate it. Hope we can have you on for some more of these.
Definitely. Read Berserk. Fuck you all. Bye.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
All right. So yeah, now we can kind of like.
I hate that guy.
See, and I don't. As far as like the whole Guts discussion we had, those are the kinds of conversations I actually really enjoy. In spite of them getting heated, don't take anything I say about a particular person or whatever, whether it be insults or anything, too seriously, because that kind of happens with me, especially when you're, I don't know, a quarter of a bottle of mead down.
Well, I did want
so
to
I
add
apologize
this.
for any rude things I might say, but I still stand on the points that I made in that whole conversation.
Listen, I'm gonna quote it again. The liberals may call you an idiot, but I will call you a retard.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I did want to add, okay, so we all killed a squirrel or two by driving our car, right?
That's true.
Like, or some
Except
type
for
of
him.
roadkills. I hit in a deer. I'm trying to drive my ass home, and some random animal that I did not see jumps in front of me, or for whatever reason. That happens. Was I trying to do it? No. That's how I see this incident with Guts.
Yeah, it's like I said with the situation here in the U.S., where we do have like states with like castle law, self-defense laws, and all that. You are allowed to protect yourself. Now, a lot of those situations get heated. People make mistakes. There are like, it doesn't justify some of the actions that people will take, but you have to understand the whole nuance of the conversation. Whether you like or don't like that situation, it's not necessarily fair to call someone a murderer if they were acting to try and protect themselves because other things were happening.
Well, okay, it's like this. I know it's gonna sound bad, but the kid was roadkill. So he jumped out in the middle of the road while Guts was driving. That's the best example of this. Was Guts purposely trying to kill this kid? No. But like,
was it the kid's fault for being there? No.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, kind of, and like, is Marcel like I guess my thing is like, is Marcel trying to put Guts into the same type of category as like Light? Because like Light is evil, right? Like, Guts is not evil. Guts just messes up from time to time, and like Light Yagami is like scum. Like, you want to talk about scum? Like, Light Yagami is scum. So
okay, look.
So
Marcel, come on.
He was being absurd when he did.
Yeah. Okay, but it's like this
right now. So I'm gonna let Vagabundo defend himself, but I just gotta say one thing. Like, yeah, we've all like driven, hitting some shit. That's happened. You feel instantly bad afterwards if you're a good person, but you're not paying attention because you've got tunnel vision on the road. You're doing your thing driving. He might have had tunnel vision. It's kind of what I meant earlier. You know what I mean? He's already in fight mode. I don't know if you've ever been in a fight or if you've ever done fighting, but like you're in fight mode. If you turn around and there's somebody else there, you're like, oh shit. Sometimes.
But even still, like there's sometimes where like, okay, maybe it's you only can drive one direction and there's cars coming the other way, there's cars behind you, and you don't have time to something just came right in front of you. You can't brake.
Yeah, there's nothing.
That's what I'm not comparing the kid to being the actual squirrel, but I'm just giving like a one-to-one.
It's an analogy.
Yeah, like
and
a good
I
one-to-one.
like to show logic rather than an actual comparison.
Correct.
Like
Exactly.
I'm not actually saying the kid's a squirrel, but like, but the
No.
point still stands is like, Guts had no other option but to kill whoever was in front of him that just saw him assassinate whoever. I forgot the guy's name for a second, but the guy who just assassinated, and he's supposed to be secret. I'm sorry, you might think it's a terrible analogy, but I think it's the best one there is because Guts had no other choice but to kill whoever's in front of him, and it happened to be a kid. Same way, an animal comes across your way, and you got no other choice but to keep on driving.
Yeah, that works.
I know you might not like the analogy, but I'm sorry. Like, because he was also too, he had to escape out of there too after he killed the Duke.
Yeah, like, you couldn't have. Yeah, there couldn't have been any witnesses. It was one of those things where you just had to be like, "Fuck." And he just probably just was so panicked that he had tunnel vision. He saw a person and went, "Shit! If a person sees me, they have to die," and then realized, "Oh my god, it was a kid."
Oh yeah, it goes the same for like you put people in, like I keep saying, these intense high octane situations with low visibility. They don't really know exactly what the situation is. They just know that there are certain requirements that have to be, and they're going to act based on those things. Not everyone is going to do great things in those situations.
Would you consider this to be partially like at least adding to the reason why Guts would leave too, as well, since this was a request and Griffith put him in a situation like this? You know, he didn't leave immediately, obviously, but it's like, you know, bricks in a wall. Like
I don't think this was necessarily a part of him leaving.
Well,
I think it's something that weighs on him because, as you see later on, like I keep talking about with the carriage attack, with the Guardians of Desire, the way he responds to children being put in danger, or like having to like draw his sword against children later on, kind of shows that like this is a moment where he like continually looks back and kind of regrets everything that happened in those situations.
See, I'm liking Endless Pain's points here. I'm agreeing with like pretty much everything he's saying so far. He or she is saying so far.
That would be one of the guys that tried to get me to read Berserk forever. So yeah.
Okay, so then yes, I am 100% agreeing with him.
Yeah. So not to like put too hard of a close on the conversation, but I think everything that's been said about it can be said. So we're just going to have to either agree to disagree and move on, or waste all our time arguing the exact same points. So
do you want to talk about his influence on other anime?
I want to specifically just talk about Berserk's influence on a lot of other things. We can get into that because it's not just anime.
I already have multiple examples written down.
All the Souls games draw heavy inspiration from.
That's true.
Fair
That's
point.
very true.
To the point where in Elden Ring, I'm pretty sure you can acquire the Dragon Slayer.
Yes, you can in all the games, and the Moonlight Greatsword is the same Berserk sword, but it's just green.
Yeah. The other thing, though, is there are actually multiple bands who draw their inspiration from Berserk. I shared one of them called The Beast in Black in the Discord that you guys have. Their song Zod the Immortal is really good.
Yeah, there's another metal band.
Brand of Sacrifice was the other one that I was going to mention.
Oh yeah, yep.
Like they have an album that is literally just Griffith sitting on top of Zod.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah, that cool art, but yeah.
All right. Confirmed, by the way. Ichigo like his blade, he was like, "Oh, I love the idea of having a character with like a massive sword." So Kubo was like, "Yep." He read Berserk, and that was part of the inspiration for the design of his blade. But he had to make it different, right? You could also say Zabuza's blade, the Executioner's blade, which I have right here. You could also go to Asta's sword, which is basically the same thing. And there's actually a manga cover of Asta in Black Clover doing the exact same manga cover from Berserk. If you look up Black Clover Berserk cover, you'll see multiple. It's pretty cool. They're really dope. They're like the exact same thing. I love Black Clover. So like there's like tons of anime that'll take from it, but there's also tons of movies that'll take from it. Which is interesting. I've seen other people make it that looks slightly like Griffith's helmet.
So yeah, and Berserk was one of the heavy influences for like one of my like own early writing projects, something that has never seen the light of day. But it kind of a similar vibe, similar situation. Either way, like it's incredibly influential as a piece of fiction.
Yeah. Back to Vinland Saga 2. There's so many different things. So Thorfinn, the main character, like Guts is portrayed as carrying a big sword for his size, even as a kid. Okay, when he's fighting on the battlefield, and that is not the way Thorfinn is able to do it because he's not strong enough. So there's some things for in a couple months. I'm going to get a lot of interesting takes for you guys on that for Gambino as far as his relationship with Guts. There's so many parallels between the two series that I think it's very interesting to have a deep dive between.
For those of you guys who are in the lounge, if you want to save some of these topics, we could just end up doing like a whole recap stream of like going over everything in comparison. But
that's fine.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like if there are things you want to talk about, but
dude, that would be sweet.
Either way, like it's great, and as you get deeper into the series, you really start to see Miura's art. I gotta find some of the stuff, like but we can even just go to like the battles in the Golden Age. Like you can talk about like the way that the Battle of Doldry is depicted. Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking tight, yo! Full screen Vagabunda for a second, yo. That's sick.
So I lasered engraved this, and then the other side. And then but then if you're into Gunpla, I have a whole one too, but I have some 3D files in the different scales for if you do Gunpla for the Dragon Slayer. I got a mech version and the actual Dragon Slayer as well too. And then, but yeah, I'm thinking about actually getting branded like with hot iron and everything. Well, and plus I'm wearing a Berserk shirt, so I was like,
Hell yeah, dude!
It is one of the tattoos I'm willing to consider now at this point.
So
I was like, everyone's getting tattoos.
He has become one of us.
Well, I could talk to you about brand, but separate.
I have a customer that has one like right here, and
you know what else I kind of get? Berserk also. I'm sorry, Crimson.
No, I was gonna say to like wrap up like the one point I was gonna make on like the artwork. Like you guys, Roland, I don't think you guys got all the way in to see like the sea monsters or some of the more ridiculous depictions that you get out of Miura's art. Like there is some insane stuff in there. But like I said, you get stuff like the Battle of Doldry where like they're depicting soldiers and everything. They're very clearly depicted and stuff like that. And there's a reason why the artist for this is labeled as Studio Gaga, is because there are multiple people working on this thing to make the art look that way.
I was going to say, like you could tell that Miura really loved.
Is it all on Manga Plus?
No,
I didn't think so.
Nope.
Because I've been reading it on Tortuga.
So real quick though, with his depiction of armor, you were mentioning a little bit about just the fine details. You could tell that he really likes the setting because all the different medieval armor feels like separate, like everyone has their own motifs on stuff, and
true.
it feels very realistic. And the
The
combat,
purple rhino heavy lancer cavalry.
Yo, tell me
Yeah.
the Onion Knight in Dark Souls isn't the knight that Guts kills.
Oh yeah. Bazuzo.
Yeah, Bazooka.
Anyway,
right. Also,
before we get to
here's the mention, Yu Yu Hakusho, young Guts looks exactly like Urameshi.
before we get too crazy, Muffler Tape was finished to the point, and then Roman wanted to say something.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that like the combat, like even for me personally, okay, I felt that parts of the Golden Age drug a little bit, particularly the longer chapters earlier on. Like after the shocking backstory of Guts, like it was a little rough, but so with his depictions of the combat and stuff, it's really good, and it shines the more fantastical the series becomes because of kind of the extreme art style and stuff, right? It's just very good when you start getting into dealing with, demon slaying or dealing with, slaying these fantasy creatures that appear later on in the Fantasia arc and stuff too, even. So like, it's just really interesting how he depicts motion, and then again, giving individuality to all of his characters. They each kind of have something that make them feel unique on the page and easy to follow. So.
Well, I mean, when it comes to uniqueness, so there's a few fronts. So, you all have already mentioned them, but I have a few more that you guys may not have thought of, or may. I don't know what's on y'all's lists, but when it comes to like designs of characters, I get a lot of like Final Fantasy vibes too. Like if you think about it, there are some characters in Berserk that kind of have similar designs to Final Fantasy, and also characters from near Automata as well. Like I think Nier was very much inspired by Berserk, kind of same with Final Fantasy. So when I was reading the manga and then watching this anime, I was thinking, I wonder if Final Fantasy and Nier Automata was also inspired by, Berserk. Like, that'd be kind of cool.
Well,
I have no
when
proof
it's
of that,
comes to-
but
usually when it comes to stuff from dark fantasy, a lot of them do kind of borrow elements from Berserk. I don't know. Well, I'm not sure what Final Fantasy was. I think Kentaro Miura started writing Berserk in '89, right? And then
88, I think.
Okay, well, I only played the first Final Fantasy on Super. Well, never mind. I only played Final Fantasy on Super Nintendo, so I'm out of the Final Fantasy realm.
fair enough.
Berserk started in August of 89.
I thought the promotional chapter was 88 though, like the one that he put up, but yeah, you're probably right.
Perhaps that seems about accurate. If it started there, and any promotionals or one shots he did would have been a year.
Dark fantasy. Does borrow a little bit.
Either way, to quickly comment, when you talked about motion, Muffler Tape, and how Miura depicts things, it's been particularly striking to me because I've been doing a lot of reading for Trigun, which is a good manga. But one of the big issues that I've had with Trigun is that the art can really obscure what is actually going on. The creator of Trigun uses a lot of long, flowing outfits. They're very ornate and decorative, and because of that, they can be very hard to track. The details can start to obscure things as they like overlap. With Berserk, I don't have that problem. Like, it's very clear what's happening, where things are going, how it's all playing out.
That's true.
So it's one of those examples of not only does it have its own like definitive art style, it is immensely detailed, has a lot of effort, and is very clear to the reader in how it is depicted. And that's just another layer to why I consider this just in a league of its own.
Don't you realize, Crimson, that it was very clear that was a kid?
Let's stop. Okay, we're moving on from that subject. We're not going to harp on it because we're not going to do anything with it. Like we've had that out. We're done with the subject. Okay, we're moving on.
I agree. I'm just making a joke.
Anyway,
What do you got for us, man?
So Farnese.
Yeah. What do you? No, like so you
that is Farnese as a character is probably one of the most dynamic entries in the whole series. Just to sort of transition to some of the more like manga focused stuff. And that brings up the question of Farnese or Casca. Which one are you guys taking?
Casca.
Oh,
It's
So I love Tsundere's a lot, and Casca is a feisty little fox. Okay, the issue I have is that I don't know, man. Like I feel so bad for her that like I think on an emotional level I just can't. Like I don't know. It's so fucked up. Everything that I've read regarding her arc, I'm just like I love her and I don't want anything bad to happen to her. So she's not my waifu. She's the must protect at all cost category. Okay. My waifu would be Farnese though. So I would say that because I just feel a little bit more comfortable with her as a character. Now, Flan, I will defend that. Okay?
Someone's like,
Flan.
I choose option C.
they want that
Interesting
that
choice.
Cushy.
Slan is a sexy
He
bitch,
wants that
but,
demonussy.
I mean, that ain't a bad choice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know what? Bold strategy, Cotton, but
Would you give your
Mold-
soul to tap that once?
Molda is a valid pick too, in my opinion.
Molda, she's
Okay?
great.
ooh.
And then trying to think like, oh, dude.
What's her name? The
I mean,
head prostitute from.
not good hot, but like
Oh yeah, that's
great.
right. Yeah. Let me find her.
She's
real
great
quick.
too. She's wonderful.
Well, I'll say
the one
this
who's
too.
hanging out with Rickert right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean-
One, Casca's not black. That's a
No.
I'll say that.
No, she's Kushan.
All
right.
I think she's Kushkan.
Definitely
Yeah.
not black. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I think it's pretty safe to depict that, you know.
Luca, yeah,
because
that's her
of-
name, Alpha.
Well, I think it's controversial. Some people are like, "Oh, she's not Kushkan." I'm pretty sure she is because of the later parts of the manga, and it depicts her like she looks a lot like the other children growing up and stuff like that that were slaves in the capital city. So I think it's pretty obvious. Like I'm with you guys on that.
Well, I don't. It's just black people think any as soon as there's any tint of a color, they assume they're black. Like look how they treat Piccolo.
That's
Like,
true.
Well, no, Piccolo. It's not because Piccolo has a different skin color. It's because he's black coated, Vagabundo.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
they go.
Someone said
He
black?
has black Air Force energy. That's what they say. Or some stupid shit.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm not gonna
Yeah.
comment on that, but like, okay. So here's the thing, right? Like, the obvious answer is probably Casca, but like, I don't know. I think there's an argument for Luca, but I might pick Casca. I think I'm just gonna go with Casca. I think
Luca's,
Casca is my pick.
I would go with Casca, but Farnese, she is.
She has amazing.
I mean,
I
her-
love Tsundere's, but man, I just can't do it. I
her-
love her too much.
look, Farnese is
Yeah,
great.
Luca's hot, though.
But she's clearly more focused on keeping it in the family.
And since you brought that up, my
Honestly,
second
no,
favorite character.
Wait. Did
Wait,
Roman
wait.
make it to Swan? Did he make it to the eclipse?
If he's been to the eclipse, yeah, he said he already read through that.
Yeah.
So I like
Roman, come on,
Serpico a
Swan's
lot.
your goth demon baddie, dude. Come on, what are you?
Yeah, she's the goth demon
Ah.
baddie who always has her tits out.
You know what? That's a really good point, but I'm trying to be a better person now, okay?
You said that multiple
I'm trying-
I'm
times.
trying to be a better person. Hey, Roman, would you sleep with Griffith?
Hell yes.
What? What?
What the hell? What the fuck?
You weren't here for that conversation, but Rolando showed up first, and then Roman came in, and we were arguing over PFPs and stuff. So Roman, I told Roman just to switch. I didn't tell him to be Griffith. He picked Griffith on his own. I'm like, okay, Roman, real question. Would you sleep with pre-eclipse Griffith if he asked you?
For money.
No, I didn't even say for money. I just said, would you?
He said, yeah.
No shame,
Okay.
baby.
You know the panel where it's like Casca looking up at the window, and then it's
Someone
what's
has
the-
to-
It's the governor of Doldry. Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
We gotta like
my
Photoshop
God,
your
wait,
head
I
down
have to-
Griffith or something, and then put $20 is $20. That was the other.
There's pictures of Roman's full body, so I think someone could probably make it.
So,
I could probably make that if I had the materials. Yes.
Why does this always turn into ragging me?
Because
Every
you do
single
it to
Why do you
yourself.
always
I'm
make
sorry
us you're an
to
easy
rag
target?
Why do you always make it possible?
yeah, like that was your own fault. Like like have you have you seen the Griffith memes where he has
It
like
wouldn't have. It's funny. It wouldn't have come up if you hadn't said, "I'm trying to be a better person." After the conversation we had backstage.
like oh man, but yeah, that's what all I can think of now is like it like you have that king guy right there, and then you have like Roman's head, Roman standing next to him looking down at Costco from that tower, and I was like, oh, that's how they've been getting their funding. So
Casca getting shafted the whole time, bro.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
except for in the eclipse.
Yeah, she got shafted by Griffith. She got shafted by Guts. Then she got shafted
Wait,
again
hold
during
on.
the eclipse.
This is Roman right now. Give me a second.
oh shit.
I
What's all
promise
you
you.
doing?
Anyway,
Me.
Oh,
I promise you.
valid.
anyway, in any this kind of goes back to the art conversation. I liked the way Miura drew a lot of the female characters in this.
Yeah.
I think they all have very good designs for the most part, especially when he's trying to make them attractive, like Charlotte or Casca gets a bit of an unfavorable treatment because she's the warrior woman and she doesn't get to look nice. But Farnese,
She looks nice.
My God, Alpha Omega, Jesus.
Well,
Hot
to
dog
be
Hulk.
fair,
Man.
Casca's because there's certain scenes where she's more revealing, where like the one where she had Griffith told her to lay next to Guts because that's the womanly duty or whatever. Then after they fall off the waterfall, and then Guts is catering to her needs while she's on her period, and like so. I think they Miura saved her beauty for the parts that she becomes vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
all those parts she
actually, I
becomes
agree with
vulnerable is for Guts.
Well, she hates him. She wants Griffith to kill him for a while.
She's jealous of the fact that Griffith values him so highly. She doesn't
Yeah.
hate him. She's just jealous.
Correct.
Up until
'Cause she's a
she has
tsundere.
that whole moment after they fall off the cliff and everything, and he saves her and he's taking care of her. Then her opinion of him starts to sort of like turn around.
Correct.
And then when my boy Guts gets a smash, he had the power. I'll just say that because she
He
fell in
left
love
her.
with him after.
Really?
I will say it was it only took him one shot apparently.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like she was after that. She was like, "Who's the hell is Griffith?" I mean, there were still times she's
Well,
conflating with Griffith.
He's got a dragon slayer on his back and between his legs. Okay.
Oh, she found out who the hell
Oh, word.
Griffith
Oh, dude.
was.
Anyway, it's like that, and then of course you have like even with like the male character designs, I like a lot of the way that Miura has done faces. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like copy paste in this. They all sort of have their own unique look. Like when they
A
need to
lot
be
of them.
ugly, they're ugly. When they
Yeah.
need to look good, they're good. And like even different races have different facial structures as compared to like when you get like different people groups in a standard manga, it'll generally be pretty similar.
And I always
Yeah.
appreciate that
Same
when I
face.
see it in anime. Like whenever I see that in an anime, I'm just very much appreciative of that. Every single person looks distinct in some way. It makes it a lot easier for viewers, especially if they're like my mom's problem with Attack on Titan is she's like, bro, I keep forgetting everybody's names and like who the fuck is who. And like it kind of has to do with the faces sometimes. But like she loved the show and like got everybody down by the end of it, you know what I mean? But like it was still difficult for her to get everything straight. Whereas like when you watch other anime, everybody's very distinct in certain ways.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of like when I showed my family Naruto, they kind of had that same problem. Like, it kind of took them a while to like, get like everybody down, and so I kind of appreciate the fact that like, Berserk, no one looks the same because that can happen. Like, it's very common. Listen, as much as I love it, it happens in Dragon Ball too. There are a bunch of background characters that look exactly the same a lot of the time if you freeze a lot of the frames. So I really just appreciate the fact that Berserk gives each character individuality, if that's even a word.
Yeah.
That
Well,
is yeah.
Well, in Dragon Ball, most of the characters is just one or couple of faces, and you just swap the hair. So I don't know if you've seen the video where the person has like cutouts of the hair, and they got the one face. I was like, oh, it's Tien, then it's Vegeta, or whatever. Yeah. Well, Alpha. Every character in Dragon Ball has the same head, but I think the problem becomes where I think a lot of modern, not everyone, but a lot of modern anime and manga, after Sword Art Online came out, and they're like, okay, if it's going to be a fantasy or isekai, we have to like clone Kirito and Asuna for whatever reason.
Yeah, so, the character design is everywhere.
Yeah, I like SAO, but yeah,
I like SAO too.
I get that.
But everybody looks like Kirito, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying,
SAO was the first real anime that I watched, because my friend sat me down over a weekend and made me watch it. So,
would you guys
Go ahead.
Vagabond, go ahead. You were talking before me.
I was talking about Sword Art Online, so go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, would you guys also agree that, for a time, Goku kind of inspired how anime characters looked for a little bit, spiky hair, bright colors and such.
Maybe not necessarily.
I'm talking about main character designs is kind of what I'm saying, because
dude, but nobody in the big three resembles him though.
I was about to say, I don't. You're specifically talking spiky hair, the eye size, all that kind of stuff. I think that's more indicative.
I'm also talking about the fact that y'all, Naruto wears orange and blue. Goku's wearing orange and blue.
Okay, but that's a coincidence.
Yeah, that could be a cultural thing too.
Anyway,
could be something else, but yeah, I get you.
Yeah, as far as that goes, I think it's not necessarily that Dragon Ball influenced the art style. I think Dragon Ball was influential in inspiring a lot of people to create manga, but I don't think it was inspirational in the art style. I think Dragon Ball actually drew its art style from existing trends at the time.
Well,
some of the more moe kind of stuff.
I think to be fair to what you're saying, is that there is a thing in animation and drawings to where the main characters have loud, boastful character colors or something that makes them stand out compared to everybody else. So with Yu-Gi-Oh, it's him with the spiky hair, and then everyone else got kind of normal hair.
That's my point. Yeah,
but I think they get that money from Technicolor from American cartoons. So when you watch an old Tom and Jerry, so you see how the backgrounds usually kind of more flat colors, but whoever the main characters are, they're I think that's where that actually comes from, honestly.
Sure. Good call out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great one actually. And if I can just make one point here, I would say that One Piece, just everybody's colorful, so I don't know if that necessarily applies to that one, but with Bleach and Naruto, I could see that, but Ichigo, it's he also has the orange with his hair. But I will say that I can see an actual thing from Berserk, like I said earlier, in Naruto and in Bleach, And I can also see a little bit of references to Dragon Ball in Naruto and Bleach. With you have this Sero in Bleach, which is like a big laser beam, and then in Naruto, the Rasengan is basically very similar, or what the when the Nine Tails ends up firing that big missile or whatever, like the big laser beam towards the end.
Yep.
Yeah, that type of shit. Like I can see it being similar to like Ultra Instinct or whatever, but Naruto's more similar to that, I think, than Bleach would be. But like you could still see the references. Yeah, there's definitely references to Dragon Ball, but I don't think it's to the same level that Berserk has actually influenced so many different things.
I wasn't trying to say that Dragon Ball was more of an inspiration. I was just trying to kind of think that like I was just trying to say that like maybe certain animes inspired certain like there were certain animes that like inspired certain eras of, you know.
Well,
anime.
yeah,
I get what you're saying. And not to bring it back to Matt Walsh, but I think this is when I don't know if everyone's seen Matt Walsh's recent tweet about animes not American in there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I wasn't engaging with it, but I've seen a lot of.
Yeah, I didn't engage with it.
I didn't hear the whole. I didn't see the whole thing, but
it's a real. I think it's a nothing burger, but to reference this point,
Likely.
it's because I think the point that a lot of people are missing is a lot of anime. Okay, take Astro Boy. When they have a lot of the characters have gloves and stuff, is because they were watching Disney cartoons and decided to do that. And I think this is also why Japan's is America's greatest ally. And so, to what you're referencing to we're referencing to the colors and stuff, because like I watch cartoons of all things, but my preference is a lot of anime, but that's beyond the point. But like I said with the Technicolor, the style was the background and stuff had its own certain drawings and stuff, and only the characters were the loud and boastful ones. So that's where you see that reference from. And I think we're kind of like borrowing and taking from each other. So Japan got influenced by us, and then we get influenced by them. So that's where we end up with like styles like The Last Airbender, the Boondocks, and the original Teen Titans, right? So it's been kind of like a cultural exchange back and forth, honestly.
It's been the repeated passing of the creative torch back and forth as people create things, and especially in the modern era of like I guess just the internet connecting everything. And just international trade and all of that kind of shit. You get to a point where like one person can create something in the US and it inspires a bunch of people to do things, say in Japan or whatever.
In Japan, like for Godzilla -1, they were using some of the newest technology. Like they were using some.
Well, I'm more so specifically talking about like stories and stuff. Like if someone
too.
I'm particularly talking about writing and all of that in this instance, not necessarily the technology or the techniques, but particularly in inspiration to write and in the themes that they cover. So like you get something created in the West that will then inspire people in Japan to create something, and they will create a bunch of other stuff, and then you'll get you will get like Tron or Blade Runner or all that, and you'll get like Akira and shit like that, and you keep getting that back and forth. Not necessarily that any of those are related. I'm just kind of giving an example. There's that.
Even Berserk.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, okay. So we know the God Hand's based off of Hellraiser, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So where I was bringing it back to Matt Walsh is someone like Matt Walsh who doesn't know the actual history of a lot of anime at all, which I think he's just doing it for the rage bait again. I don't think he hates anime, but as someone who doesn't really understand that Japan's been a cultural exchange with the United States. I won't just say the United States, but a lot of Western things, because you got like Wakfu and or Oban Star Racers and stuff in France and stuff. So it's been this like I'm sorry, one of my cats knows how to open the door. So
little freaking demon.
Yeah, but like there's
I have one of
been
my
this
own.
whole circular cultural exchange, and if you're outside of the circle, you're not going to know about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree.
It's not necessarily been a good thing though, because like you get like the good example of one of the negative effects of it is just the Akira slide being so ubiquitous at this point.
Yeah.
It's cool, but yeah, I understand.
On the
Literally
other
can do-
hand, you have stuff like Tolkien inspiring entire fantasy tropes with like elves and stuff.
Mhm.
Which took over, and,
Mhm.
like I mean, all fantasy. Like anyway, yeah,
Best
I'm with you
fantasy
on that.
story of all time.
Um,
Every single fantasy writer will tell you they've read Lord of
So-
the Rings.
I do have an idea. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, but like as far as like the stuff for Berserk goes, you could probably trace a lot of whether it be inspirations or just people who read this and were inspired to try and create something great like it. Like that was again one of the things that really got me going after reading it. Is like, I want to try and make something like this too. This is fucking awesome.
That's how I felt
So,
about Lord of the Rings.
I
Sorry.
yeah. So I just had. I don't know what the next topic is, but I had one if we didn't have one, and so I was going to say that like outside of the three that make this series special and it requires these three people to work is Guts, Casca, and Griffith, right? So they are the three required elements that make the story work. Okay. The issue that I have that I was going to bring up as like a fun topic of discussion would be favorite characters outside of those three, right? So like we're talking from the Eclipse, it would be from like maybe the Band of the Hawk, maybe people that aren't around anymore, or maybe still are around. Just depends, on who you like. And then maybe like for us that have read longer, like if we have a favorite character for the new Band of the Black Swordsman, basically. So just stuff like that, like favorite characters, like maybe pre-Eclipse and after Eclipse, just different stuff like that.
Yeah. If we're talking pre-Eclipse, not including the main three characters, I would say
because Alpha Omega mentioned Pippin, and I was like,
Pippin's good. I'm
like,
sitting here kind of caught
that was who I
between
was going to mention.
Pippin and Judo.
Smart answers.
That was who I was going to mention was Pippin.
And kind of an underdog because he sticks around for the whole thing, even though he's a fucking piece of shit at times. Corcus.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck Corcus. All right, but yes. Okay, I respect it.
Again,
that guy.
Bro could have run off when the Band of the Hawk was disowned by the Kingdom, but he stuck with them.
He did. He was just a piece of shit. So yeah,
he's the biggest tsundere in the series.
True. That's what I told Wolfler.
He was just so happy to get a pair of titties in the end, man.
Pippin's goated, bro.
Yeah, Pippin's
seriously.
great.
He's a man of few words.
Yeah, he is pretty good at it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think for me before the Eclipse would be Judo. Sometimes I get him mixed up with Rickert at times, but yeah, Judo.
Yeah, Rickert's the little one who is the only one who wasn't present for the Eclipse. Judo is the older one who has like the throwing knives. He's basically like one of Guts's right hand men.
Well, actually, I'm gonna take that back. One of my favorite characters is he's an enemy that because he always the guy that always gets beaten up by Guts and then somehow survives.
Oh yeah,
Adon, yes.
Yeah.
Adon, yes. Yeah.
Family secret passed down for 300 years or whatever.
A secret technique passed down in the corporate's family for 500 years.
It's fucking
like he's always like because you see him in another like this guy's won't die or whatever, and he comes up with something more ridiculous. I think him outside of the actual core group.
He's like
once we get into like later entries in the series, that becomes hard because there's a lot of good choices. They add a lot of good characters, but I would probably say that it would be Farnese for me.
Valid.
Yeah. So, I would say I actually really like Ghetto in the training room, like when Guts was just hanging out with them. Yeah.
Godo.
Yeah, Godo's cool.
His
I actually really I just dig that little exchange there where they're kind of hanging out for a bit. I thought he was like an underrated character, like kind of cool character. Him and his was it granddaughter, his daughter.
I believe it's his granddaughter,
and it's
That's what I
not
thought.
even his granddaughter, but
Yeah.
I forget how that relationship works, but
Yeah.
Yoda was just fucking
It's
badass though.
He was scavenging a battlefield for scrap metal, and then he found her there.
Adopted
So
her. Yeah.
I actually
Also, I would also say that I thought that other than the ones that I already agreed with you guys on, I think we got to give a shout out to just Zod being fun.
Yeah.
fair enough.
Like
I was gonna say
fun character.
Zod's cool.
Yeah,
Well, of
Zod's
the apostles
cool.
that we see, it's really tough to choose, but because Zod is still around, but like, and his transformation's way fucking cooler than oh my god, I can't remember his name. The other one, the dude,
The dragon.
No,
the
horse
first
guy,
one, the first guy.
this guy,
Wylad.
Yeah, Wylad's the
Yeah.
other apostle that we see before the eclipse. Okay, and so he is brutal, but he does not stick around, and his transformation is not as cool. Okay,
Yeah, but
His transformation is entirely grotesque.
Wait,
Yes,
Wylad's
It's sick.
Wylad's the first one he kills, right?
the first true apostle he kills. Yeah,
The
Well,
one that he
doesn't-
gets the first piece off of, right? In Black Swordsman arc.
Yeah, he got a piece off of him.
No,
Yeah,
that's
no.
different.
No.
It may have been something you didn't get to or that you skipped because Wylad. Okay, so
Oh, no, yeah.
after they rescue Griffith, okay, the military. So the king sends first off. He sends the Kushan assassins, okay,
Right.
which become really important characters that just get completely fucking cut out. So he sends them, and then
Helps you on that.
and then he sends Wylad and his demon dogs, okay? And these guys are fucking evil, okay?
Well,
like,
I would say is they're prisoners, but even Wylad forces them to do stuff.
yes,
that
he
they don't want
does.
to do.
Like, he's not.
Grim.
It's bad.
Actually, I
Crimson,
think,
do you
I'll just say real quick, they would do all the graping, but not going to what Wylad does to psychologically destroy people.
Correct.
Crimson, do you mind, Crimson, if I pose a question?
No, that's the whole point of this panel.
Okay. So I need y'all's help, actually. This is going to be a thought experiment. So,
Oh Jesus!
God damn it.
no. This is not going to be a
Additional
short art
hypothetical.
online thing, okay?
I have a hypothetical for
I
you.
promise. I just have a simple question, okay? Are there any characters that y'all like better in the manga? No, sorry. In the, anime, do you think that there are any characters that are done better in the, anime over the manga? Is
No.
my question.
No.
There aren't.
I have to sit and think.
The only one that's I think I have like a more favorable impression. I can't say that I like the character. I think that they come off better. I find them more entertaining. Would be Adon in the anime. He's much more ridiculous in the anime. They give him more scenes.
Okay, that I could agree with.
A little bit.
Yeah.
They give him the whole raft scene, which I don't remember being in the manga.
Right. He's just being
Yeah. I could.
This
agree
raft
with
has been
that one.
passed down in the Korbowitz family for 100 years.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Other than that, no. I think
Okay,
everybody else
fair
has
enough.
done better in the manga, in my opinion. But, however, I will say, like, there is times that is flipped on its head where there's some characters that are done better in a movie than they are in a book.
Yeah, but not this one.
No.
Yeah, I think it's one of those that's so well written that I can't see anything else outside of that. I mean, I can't. I think that's how come a lot of us we wish we had a proper adaptation of the anime. Is because I don't think there's nothing I can think in the anime that was better than the manga. I think one of my cats agrees.
I can hear it. I think they do.
In defense of the Memorial Edition, okay, like it does a much better job on a lot of different things, okay. But the issue, again, and I briefly just skimmed through it a little bit, but the issue that it has is just the animation is still so unsettling for me. Like anytime there's a lot of movement, it's just weird because they did the 3D and then they drew over the 3D, so it's like rotoscoped and stuff. So it's just weird.
And I think that was like whenever they were starting to get better at it, but it still looked just off.
I thought it was fine. Like if I was going to introduce someone new to Berserk and they're not a reader per se, I would probably get them to watch the Memorial Edition. It like because there's certain people like it depends on the person too, because there are people out there like, oh, animation looks old or whatever, so they won't give something a chance.
Correct.
So I think the Memorial Edition is decent enough that you can dip your toes into the water. 2016 is just no. I mean, I watched all of 2016 because I'm also a person. Well, I did watch it because it's like okay. Well, to be fair, I'm one of those.
Did you get drunk out of your mind watching it?
I'm also a person. It's just fun.
Well, okay.
Well, I mean, he's the only non-white. Well, actually, I shouldn't say non-white because Rolando's here, but he's one of the few non-white people here. He has to specify for us white guys, you know.
Yeah, well, because the thing is, it's I like the story of Berserk enough that I was like, all right, I'll just suffer through the bad animation and see where it goes. Right. So that's why I watched it.
I'm half Puerto Rican Crimson. I just want to put that out there.
But like, but honestly, I did like some of the music that they did have for the 2016. To be honest, I saw like even It's a Gundam did a cover one of the of the 2016 intro, which I think okay. I guess speaking of 2016, the intro trailer was the biggest blue balls ever because the way so like. You see there, and it's like, oh shit, this looks awesome. And then when you actually watch it, it's.
I remember watching that video for Gundam, dude. Yeah, it was.
And I think even in the anime, there was glimpses of the 2D art in it, and some of the more calm scenes, and it looks great. And then it switches to fucking 3D, and I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, that trailer is infamous because I remember my friends showing it to me. That was one of my first times seeing Berserk, other than them just telling me about it. And they were like, dude, look at this. This anime is going to be the shit.
Literally.
It's going to be
nice. And it was shit, literally.
I tried watching it just because I wanted to see how they depicted Far and East at the start, too. And I was like, oh, cool. All right, I'm done. And I just instantly just was like, I don't want to touch that one. I will check out Memorial though in full is what I probably.
I'll watch that with you too, man. If you want.
Yeah, that'll be fun. You know,
2016 too. It would be fun to make fun of it.
I'm gonna have to get drunk every fucking night I watch it. Okay,
I might make a video on that series at some point.
Honestly, the story, the story's still there.
Yeah,
you make a video on the
it's just the animation is what's like not matching. So it's like you can get through if you like Berserk, you will be able to get through it. It's just the animation's not like say what you want about the 97 anime and things that are missing from it, but it is the way it's drawn, and then they take some of the panels and just do a panning shot of the panel that's just painted over, and that's it. So I think that's and that's like an artistic choice you don't see in modern anime anymore. Whereas they take a panel from the book, any of the mangas or whatever, put it in color, and just slowly pan it through while you just hear sounds. So which I think the 97 one did well, but we won't get in anything newer.
Yeah.
I think it had some good impact frames too, if I remember. But like it wasn't. Yeah. Anyway, the music was fantastic. Again,
for 97, yes.
Yeah, like it was immaculate. Like even the opening and ending. Okay, the ending is fantastic. It's just like it captures that depression so well. Okay.
My problem, particularly with the openings and endings, is they always kind of sounded out of tune to me. But otherwise, they were good songs.
The opening is doesn't match the material unless it's from the perspective of Casca, in my opinion. But that's a different story.
I mean, put your grasses on, folks.
Wait, what's up?
Yeah, again, there's a
Put your
cover.
grasses up.
There's a cover of that song by a band named Mira Jam.
Bro.
And I actually enjoy the cover more than the original because it sounds a little bit more like it was done professionally, and they don't have the ridiculous accent of just put your glasses on. But ending was good. In particular, though, there was a lot of we talk a lot about forces.
Yes.
But there are a lot of other good ones in there, like Guts' theme, Behelit. Like I've listened to the soundtrack quite a bit. There are a lot of really good pieces of music that were made for this anime. And I think it's one of the points that I actually have the highest praise for, because it's just unilaterally really good. And it amplifies a lot of what's going on within the anime.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. I don't have too much to add. I mean, I just, again, that was the most pleasurable experience for me. Forces, I would always listen to every next episode, at the end. I would always want to listen to it just to get that dopamine hit. So it's it was pretty fun. I agree.
Well, I think the other awesome thing about the 97 one is the announcer that's you see the hand holding the behemoth and he's just talking about that both in English and Japanese is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that's voice for Void. These are great fucking voice for Void.
I agree on that 100%.
Yep.
So I'm trying to think, is there any discussions that we want to get that's outside of
you see, with both of these guys continuing on the manga, I don't want to touch too much on what's going on with that. As much as I would love to delve into some of those later arcs and stuff. The big issue, though, is I want to leave a lot of that for them to, experience themselves, because it's just it'll be better for them if we don't go through talking about this and giving them the wrong expectations for what's going to go on with these.
Right, like Grape Horse. It's all good.
Yes, yeah. Well, everyone needs to know that everyone needs to read at least to the best character in all of Berserk, Grape Horse.
Yeah, the horse is the best character.
You don't have to call it Muffler Tape. You don't have to call him Grape Horse. Vagabundo already said the N-word. It's okay.
Well, fair enough. Okay, yeah.
Oh, my bad.
One of the first things he says is, it's my N-word
Vagabundo is
lethal.
a man of color. He can say it. It's okay.
Yeah.
At this point, anything goes.
They can't get mad at him.
Oh, that's actually one of the things I wanted to talk about is the various translations for Berserk. So I was reading the manga, in the translation that they do in the deluxe editions, when Guts loses the duel to Griffith the first time, or when they have their first duel, he's like, all right, I'll be your little fag boy or whatever.
That's awesome. That's perfect.
And I'm sitting here like, oh, is this the faggot ass monsters translation?
No, it's not.
Man, I have volumes 1 through 10. I need the last 4 of the deluxe editions.
I got 1 and 2.
I don't care. We had a guy come on and say the N-word. I don't know who that could be.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay. I expected that this was going to be given the subject of the things we were talking about. That this was going to be one of those streams that just wasn't going to be. Also, there's probably a clip at the end that could run us, some issues with YouTube. So I'll have to take care of that afterward. But
or as I say, the ghost of Mama Susan.
The ghost of Mama.
Yeah.
Susan.
Her Indian counterpart, I think. Yeah.
Anyway, to kind of loop back around just to the anime and everything, Berserk is an example I always use of how graphic, disturbing, hard to watch things can be important or very powerful for a story. Particularly when you get to someone like Guts' backstory and you start talking about everything that happened to him while he was under Gambino. There's a lot of messed up stuff there. I feel like one of the big problems with the anime is it robs a lot of just the potency from the series by, you know, cleaning it up, basically. By removing all the things that are unsavory. It's not like Berserk 97 is completely like clean. They still have, you know, Casca's titties out in a couple of scenes.
Yeah.
Well, I think for the time, because even at that time, right, we're dealing with like 80s, 90s, and even the 70s, where like, okay, Spider-Man is not allowed to punch people or whatever, right? So
Yeah,
we're I think at the same time, we're just in that time period. I think that's most likely why, not for like any like modern politics or anything, but it was just, oh well, to show it on air, this and this can't happen, and so I think that's partially why it's like that or whatever.
The satanic panic of the 90s in the US really like exemplifies why I did not hear about this at all growing up as a kid. Okay. And maybe only years later, all right, like maybe a friend in high school, maybe, but that's another story. So yeah.
Well, back then anime was more so like so after when I first seen Berserk, like the VHS tape, I was on a hunt for anime. So the way no one else was talking about it, so the way I would find anime is just going to video stores and like and my only frame of reference is what is on the front and back of the box. You know?
Sure.
So even if I don't like it, I'm not gonna know unless I buy it. So I just and so that's how like my anime knowledge grew. Is like, okay, I'm just gonna, oh, the cover looks interesting and I got the premise in the back, let me check it out. So
Yeah, as far as like the kind of content we get now, sorry to space out there. I got a couple of messages and everything. No, I feel like there should be occasionally anime that are willing to deal with some of these harder to swallow issues, because it's one of those things where like it's a great way for a lot of people to deal with or express opinions on things that are, you know, hard to talk about. I mean, you can go into this and like look at the consequences of, you know, all of the abuse that Guts suffers. Like there are things that are talked about there that generally like are conveyed very clearly and very well. And I feel like a lot of people will go into series and see something that they don't like, and they'll find that one thing that they just makes them absolutely uncomfortable, and then they have like a complete revulsion to everything to do with it. Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah. We'll get there, boys.
They basically will like paint the entire thing in a negative light because they can't fully comprehend everything that is going on within the series. Like they can't comprehend that, you know, maybe the main character isn't supposed to be this shining hero. Maybe the whole point of this story is to take a more focused perspective on whatever issue you're dealing with. Maybe, you know, the whole thing is commenting about what all of these terrible things did to a person. Maybe it's commenting, like in the case of Berserk, when I first read it, my whole interpretation of it is like the price of greed will always be destruction.
It's very similar to Westeros. Nobody's a good person, except for maybe Sir Duncan the Saul.
I mean, I disagree. Like, there's certain characters that are introduced later on that are good characters. Like, I would never say that Shirky is a bad character. Like, she's a bad person. She's not. She's a good person.
Yeah,
no,
like
I would say
Shirka
is probably the most like heroic, or I guess good character of them all. Roderick seems like he's fairly like good.
Yeah. He's Chad McChadley. Okay, I respect it. He's not good enough.
Roderick is literally just you know, the Chad McThundercock meme.
Yeah. Wait a second. When did the first Game of Thrones book? Wait, hold on. When did the first Game of Thrones book come out?
I don't know.
I never read or seen it.
Because there's a Sir Roderick in Game of Thrones, and he's like the right-hand man of the Starks in the first season, and Theon ends up killing him.
Well, unless he's a
I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if George R. R. Martin was like, I like that name, and was reading Berserk, because he also took a lot from Lord of the Rings. I would not be surprised if that was there for inspiration.
He wasn't introduced until way later too. That's the thing. Like,
yeah.
I would say
I
even
did
like
want-
characters like Rickert were good people.
Yeah, Rickert
Yeah.
has always been. Bro, I just want to say real quick, okay, when we were talking about favorite characters briefly on that, Rickert is right up there, with, oh God,
Especially
Judo.
after leaving Falconia and everything.
Especially because of the slap. Okay, that's
The
why he's
slap,
up there.
yeah.
Can you spell the name?
Paul.
Sorry, anyway.
Of
Can you spell the name of the one you
Oh,
just mentioned?
Rickard.
Rickert.
Yeah,
Rickert.
Rickert, the boy that wasn't in the
The little
Yeah,
blonde.
no. I can't tell if there's a D at the end or not. How do you-
T.
No, it's a T.
Rickert.
Oh yeah, okay, Rickert.
Today, Junior.
Dude, I literally my computer wasn't picking up. All I'm hearing is Rickert. I'm like, I don't know what it is.
I did want to add to what Crimson said earlier. So because I'm on a lot of channels and like I won't say any names or anything, but there are folks that I know out there where like they that I wouldn't say they're tourists, but the only things they watched is like the popular shonen, right? Because there are some dark shonen out there, but they only watch like the popular ones. So like anything where there's like well, the good guy doesn't always win, or maybe some actual depictions of actual evil things happen, turns them completely off from a series. And like, and no matter how much you like, it's like even there's some things where like I was like, honestly, it's not really that bad, or even hey, some of the things that I'm talking about that you're saying you don't want to have in your material is in Dragon Ball, whatever.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the original Japanese releases of like the first 10 chapters kind of thing?
Yeah, again, I'm not gonna say any names, but I had one person try to argue with me about like the brother sister stuff or whatever in anime, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
oh,
Sorry.
yo, Roderick, yeah, but like,
Okay.
so the person was like, no, this shouldn't be in any show and ever, but they love Dragon Ball, right? Or I'm like, well, okay, my bad. I was mixing some things in my head. They don't like anything Gooner in shows, right? But they love Dragon Ball, and I'm like, okay, well, you actually paid attention in Dragon Ball. There's a lot of scenes in there that you're like purposely ignoring from your memory or something that are probably far worse than what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Dragon Ball fans are mad toxic. I don't claim them.
Yeah. They're like worse than.
Don't mess with Dragon Ball fans. We don't even know shit about our own favorite mangaka.
Yeah, dude, they're worse than Star Wars fans. Not
They're
gonna
worse than
lie.
Boruto fans, bro.
No,
got,
that's true too.
I got a question.
Boruto fans are on the same level as Star Wars
Hey, we're
fans.
not talking about that. Muffler tape, what do you got?
Yeah, so we were talking about influences earlier and stuff too. So I'm just curious, like, how many people here have read all of Chainsaw Man Part 1?
Me.
The manga. I mean, volume
you're
one.
almost-
I read all. I read
Wait.
volume 1, 2, and 3.
No,
Robin, where you
it's
at?
Part 1, so that's like the first 11
11.
volumes.
11 volumes.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
still
Check
behind.
timeline.
So I
Okay.
got volumes 1 through 8 right now. But after I watched season 1 of the anime, I was like, oh, I gotta go see what the people of the manga are talking about. So I bought 1 through 8. I just need to read them.
Not to get too into spoiler territory, but like I feel that Part 1 of Chainsaw Man in part was heavily inspired by Berserk, specifically like the eclipse portions of the of Berserk and stuff. Again, to an extent, okay. And I feel that the way Fujimoto structured his story was pretty similar to that too. So like I was just going to throw it out there like for everybody, like what do you think about that comparison? Like I think it's valid. It's obviously not the same, but like do you think maybe that they would faithfully adapt it because maybe it doesn't have as graphic elements here and there type of thing?
Crimson, may I, so that I don't spoil this for anybody who hasn't gotten to that point, because it's up to chapter 97 is part 1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where Roman's at because he just went like this. Vagabond.
Oh well, then
Vagabundo is definitely not caught up. So
no.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
okay. All right.
For me, I read volumes 1 through 3. I've seen the anime and the movie multiple times.
okay.
So
Yeah, you have a
are
long way to go. You got about halfway.
Yeah.
56, right?
It's like 50 something. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you're on like chapter 56. So you're about to get into the next arc, which is a great arc. You're gonna love it. It just goes 0 to 100 from there. I can send you a link if you want to, but anyway, what I would say is, there is that type of vibe with that whole entire situation that goes down after International A.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about. And after that, there's really just, I don't know how they're going to split that into 2 seasons. It'll have to be a movie.
I guess I'm on part 2 technically because I'm on chapter 106.
Yeah. You
Oh,
completed
wait.
part one.
So you can see what we're talking about then.
Yes.
You know what. So you've seen what happens with the International A. All I have to
the
say
final
is,
3 arcs, you know.
yes. Everything after Reze you've seen.
I cannot wait for them to adapt that. I'm so hyped.
Okay. All right. So you've seen, like, all I gotta say is you've seen Power.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. And the Gun Devil. All right, cool.
Yes.
That's not spoilers even. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way I can say it. He'll know what I mean. Vagabundo won't know what I mean. But that is, Muffler, I would agree with you. That is very close to the Eclipse arc because of a certain character that we know. So who would be in the place of Griffith there? I get it.
That was the analogy I got. That was Okay, cool. Just making sure I'm not, messed up.
Well,
in the head.
I hope it's not Makima, and Makima stays my angel or evil angel. So
I'll have to keep reading, and I'll be happy to have that conversation with you later.
Don't worry, it's not Makima. It's not Makima.
Okay. All right. But I know I like Rizzy, but Makima can still step on me, and I know he's watching.
Don't worry, there's plenty of simps out there for
No,
it.
don't worry, it's not Makima. I swear.
Okay.
He left his own stream.
Yeah, I guess he did. Are you okay, buddy?
He's so disappointed. He's so disappointed right now.
You're all subhuman.
Oh,
you
okay.
like Berserk, bro.
Listen, wait until Vagabundo meets my girl Quan Chi. He'll understand.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. Well, I mean, they won't have to censor per se, but they're definitely gonna just show it like the manga, and so nipples are optional, I guess.
The nips. But
well, my understanding from the Reze movie is I know some people complain about the nipples not being in the movie, but
I have it right here.
Wasn't there.
It wasn't in the manga either, so
yeah, it wasn't. Anyway, anyone else have any topics they want to get to on the Berserk matter?
Nah, I'm good.
I was just talking about the stuff that
everything I want to talk about, I can't talk about right now.
Yeah,
so,
that's the unfortunate part. Is I don't want to get too much into spoilers and stuff here.
But
like, it would be fun if we we were talking like mildly, kind of like the way we have about like referencing certain like events later on.
Favorite arcs for people that have read it all in order. Like, what are your favorite arcs? Like for me, it's Tower of Conviction. Then it's probably the Eclipse. Fantasia, then Millennium Falcon, and then Black Swordsman's above Millennium Falcon too. Even though magic gets introduced to Millennium, I don't like everything, or like maybe Eclipse, like those last 3. But I think that Tower of Conviction is fantastic. Okay.
And then, remind me, the Tower of Conviction is with the priest.
The very angry priest. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that one's one of my favorites. That
one's good. I think I would probably put Golden Age up there for one of my favorites, particularly because I really like the way they did a lot of the battles and stuff in the manga.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, I'll put
I-
my top 3. For me, it would probably go Eclipse,
Hmm.
Black Swordsman, Tower of Conviction.
Okay.
You know,
You
what? I
haven't
think
you
I would
haven't
agree with
finished the
that.
Tower of Conviction quite yet, have you?
No, but I would
Okay, okay.
Oh,
Just keep
Oh.
reading, okay? You're gonna have a chef's kiss waiting for you at the end of that. Okay.
Oh.
Just keep going, buddy.
I guess for me it's okay. I think because it sets the Black Swordsman arc, because that really gets me into it at first. And then the Golden arc is what like lets me have the feelings for like all the main characters before they meet the Eclipse. And then Tower of Conviction.
Cool.
Solid.
Yeah, like I know that people like well, I mean, we'll talk about it more in depth whenever we can in a future stream, but like I do not have bad feelings about the later arcs or storylines either. Like it didn't fall off at all for me. Like it's really good. Like again, it's my number 2. I just want to see it end. You know, I want to have like the conclusion of these characters, even if I may not agree with those conclusions. I just want one, so that way I can understand what he was trying to tell as far as the story goes, like the ultimate conclusion of it. So yeah, I'm really excited. More
Okay,
chapters
well, I guess
this year.
On that, but
I guess we can have my question is for everybody. How many more years you think we have, or how long you think we have left for they actually just finish this for us? And just that's kind of where I just want closure, honestly, because like I can't wait another 30 some years
Yeah.
for the story to end.
I have no idea, honestly, because one, I feel like they may try to, just get this done with and try to maneuver over to an ending for the series. But at the same time, I also feel like at the rate they're going, that's going to take fucking forever.
See,
yeah, I think we're gonna be. I hate to say it this way, but we might be waiting that 10 years for it to just drop like a big 60-page chapter or something like that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit faster than I anticipate. Like, but I guess Alpha's saying like maybe 10 years. Like, I'm technically
That'd be
okay with
great.
that.
See,
But like
a decade is like the upper limit for me that I would be willing to like entertain.
The reason why I say that though is that because after Mira's death, like the chapters that preceded like the current arc that we're on, everything seems very fast. It doesn't feel like it's slow or bogged down at all. So I think that maybe what's holding them back is just figuring out what their plan is on certain things and then executing on it. I don't think it's actually like anything else. I think that's why we're dealing with the delays and stuff because the pacing is very fast. So I think that once we do get new content, which are supposed to be new chapters this year, and they left us on one hell of a cliffhanger. So I'm very excited to see kind of what we're about to do. So
I have a crazy prediction. I think we get the end of Berserk I think we get the end of Berserk before we get GTA 6. I actually have
I think the end of
I think we get the end of Berserk before we get the end of A Song of Ice and Fire.
You
Yes.
fucking just took
Yes.
my answer, you son of a bitch. I literally was talking
Or-
and I let you finish because I knew you're gonna fucking steal it. You
which
bitch.
one finishes first, Vagabond or Berserk?
Berserk.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
That's what
I'm pretty sure the guy writing Vagabond just doesn't want to do anything. I think he's just kind of given up.
Yeah, he from what I was reading on it, apparently. So there's there's one arc left. And it's like, well,
I gotta continue reading it that way I can feel the pain of the people because I was enjoying it.
Okay, do you think what's his name Martin will finish writing Game of Thrones before the ending of Berserk?
No.
Well, that's
No.
what I'm saying. No,
That's
No
what we were
shot.
just saying. Is A
I
Song
don't-
of
I
Ice
don't
and
think-
Fire.
Oh,
No
shit.
shot.
yeah, I don't
Crimson
think he's going to.
Snowline.
I don't think.
Well,
he's gonna,
I haven't watched Game of Thrones. I just know it's a running joke. I thought you were talking about something different, Bobby.
What is
No,
it?
Song of Ice and Fire. That's what it's called, and that's what
It's
I was going to
been,
bring
what,
up.
Yeah.
The fucking
11
Song of-
years?
you son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
11
I
years
don't-
since the
We
last time
will-
broke?
We will have Kingdom Hearts 4 before we get Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna finish Hedge Knight even. Okay, I don't think he's
No,
gonna
bro,
finish
I
that.
don't either.
yet.
Like,
Like
they're going to finish Hedge Knight in the show.
correct.
Oh, no.
I think
I
Detective
know.
Conan and Berserk are the reasons why I don't try to get into any long form anime anymore.
Unless they're completely finished.
Yeah, no One Piece for me. I'm with you on that. Like I'll just wait. I'm good.
Yeah, imagine my shock when Tape Nagatsuki says ReZero is only about halfway over.
Yeah, I'm not doing Bleach. Or not Bleach. Fucking One Piece until
One Piece,
it's
yeah.
done.
It's finished.
No
yeah.
way.
Yeah, because
I've
my
already read all
problem.
of Bleach. I know where we're at. It's fine.
Yeah, because
Well,
Detective
it's fine.
Conan, they got into like the Scooby Doo writing, like, and then they're not even trying to solve the mystery anymore. So it's like, what's the point of me even watching this? And
What the-
so, I guess in America they called it case closed.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah. And Berserk, I just want a conclusion. Like I want Guts to just like Griffith's last breath, just cut his head off or whatever, or cut him limb from limb. I just want to see Griffith die the most horrible death he could imagine.
Oh, he's gonna.
I don't
fuck
think
up.
it's going to end the way you expect. That is
Probably
the
not.
best thing I could say based on what I've seen. I don't think it's going to end that way, and it's going to be way fucking worse.
You think they're killing each other?
Worse than that.
No.
Like potentially worse than that. Yeah.
Like Griffith wins?
No. I don't think Griffith is going to win.
My
'Cause then it's like, what
prediction
the
is
fuck's the
that
point?
it's going to come down to a confrontation between Guts and Griffith, and then it's going to be similar to the Guardians of Desire, where they both just get dragged to hell by the Band of the Hawk.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that Casca may play a role. Is the best way I can say that. Like I don't know. Like I think that
Oh, is she gonna be
the
like,
reason why like if you look at the Eclipse arc, she's the reason why a lot of bad things happen because of that. You know, like if she would have just let go and stuff, you know, like they would have been able to move on and stuff. So like I think that she has unresolved feelings that she still needs to work through. So yeah, it's the best way I can say that.
Do you think that she's gonna become like some crazy demon too, or no?
No, I just
She can't, according to the laws of the way the God Hand operate.
Okay.
yeah, so she can't use the Bailet and she can't become one. So yeah, I just think that there's something very intrinsic to the story that would involve her. So yeah, that's the most I can say.
Anyway, with that, unless there's like anything that people really want to get to, I'm gonna draw this one to a close. I had fun with this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So first of all, Vagabundo, do you have anything you want to plug here? I already have your channel down in the description here.
All right, well, cool. Well, nothing much. I'm debating on doing a solo stream on. I'll probably start it next Wednesday. I did say I was going to do it this Wednesday, starting at midnight, but I got so much shit to do in the morning. So, probably next Wednesday will be my first solo stream. But on Sunday will be I Swear It's Not Hentai podcast with me. And then when I do the solo stream, it's also going to be I Swear It's Not Hentai podcast, but with just me and not my whole giant panel. So people can ask me more personalized questions or pick my brain more on certain topics without like a bunch of people like chiming in that they don't watch a lot of stuff so that I watch. So
Alrighty. I know Muffler Tape and Rolando don't have anything that they need to shill.
Hang out in the Discord.
But Rolo, Roman, you guys got something? I mean, your channel's already down in the description too. I will post the Rolo Rome net cast.
I mean,
there in the
Actually,
chat.
I actually doing something. So we are doing another Monday Night Mayhem next week. On Monday, we are doing what we had planned to do last Monday, but we got hit by the huge snowstorm. So Roman was not able to make it onto the stream. So I just did, a random conspiracy chill stream type of thing for Monday Night Mayhem this week. But we will be doing the Book of Enoch on Monday, like we usually do. So you're getting 2 Monday Night Mayhems for the conspiracy theory streams this month. Next upcoming month in March. So you're getting Book of Enoch, and then what do we have after that, Roman? I think it was Egypt.
Egypt, yes. So
Yeah,
you get 2
Egypt
in March
that.
for the price of 1. So yeah.
Yeah. So you're getting 2 of them, and also we're gonna be streaming as usual. We've had some great streams. By the way, go back and check out that M&M, the Monday Night Mayhem from last week. That was great. And then also our stream's been popping off. You guys did an amazing job, by the way, and I want to say thank you for the Monday Night Mayhem. There was a ton of viewers on there, and we gained quite a few subs. So thank you guys. I don't know. I feel like somebody rated us and didn't say anything about it. So I don't know who it was, but thank you. If you have anything to say.
Well, I mean, just I'm working on my next big set of videos. I'm trying my hardest to get out. I am reviewing all of the Fantastic Four movies, so I hope to have the whole series out by March. I hope. And then I'm playing through Assassin's Creed 2, and we're playing through Nier on my channel. And then you guys know where to find us. The Roller Homecast, same bat time, same bat channel, number 168 this Friday, and every Friday from now until the end of time. And yeah, peace out, y'all.
Yeah, thanks for having us too, Crimson, as always.
So really quick, I will say to anyone who's a regular viewer of mine that's still in the chat here, there will be no animated this weekend. I'm going to make a formal post on my channel after this. I got to work Saturday. So yay. No animated. I will get back to you guys with summertime rendering review plus all the other stuff the week after that. However, now that we're through Berserk, we are kind of on a long we're on a long break here. There's not a special or anything to go on here. So we'll be moving on to the next series, and that will be Black Lagoon. So hope to see you in the next one. Hope to see you around. Check out all the awesome people who are around here. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, who showed up for the panel. I appreciate all you guys hanging out here. It's been a really fun time. Like Lethal Lightning, he's not here, but he's like having him on. He's fun. Obviously, the guys who are regulars here, and then Vagabundo. Great having you on again. I appreciate you coming.
Oh yeah, no problem. Sorry about the Edward.
It's cool. I'm just ribbing you for it. I honestly don't give a crap.
All right, cool.
I will see you whenever. I'll try to figure some stuff out. It just won't be this Saturday. So you all have a good weekend, good rest of your week as well. And stay safe, stay hydrated, and Mazel Tov.